listen, that is like basically the favourite map of Carrigan in CSGO at this point in time. It's what he's always loved. Also, I will say, individually, probably Nico's best map ever. If you wanted to actually set up the storylines, they've done us a favour at this point in time. You've sort of met in the middle at this point. I will say, as much as G2 had the limited map pool...
Dzisiaj nagrywam, jak oglądałem mecze. O 20 jest mecz Virtus Pro kontra ten, to będziemy oglądać, widzowie.
This is a dead team, I'll say it right now.
Yeah.
Even if this team makes this, I would say, even if they make top 8, I would go ahead and predict. I'm not saying anything from behind the scenes here. I'm just saying, as an outsider looking in, G2, the organisation, they don't mess around. Look what they just did with their League of Legends squad that had some of the great, like, Hall of Fame players, some of them potentially still around their prime. So I think you're going to see the same thing in the CSGO team. I think when this team fails to make a top 4 challenge for the title, they've given them all the rope, they've given them plenty of time and chance to perform. Only really Nico's properly injured. The other ones, it's contextual as to who wants to stay, how you rebuild. I expect for 2022, you will see 2-3 people up this G2 line at most. And actually, FaZe Clan, as much as they're supposed to be on the chocolate block, they're going to change one player, I imagine.
Quick predictions then. Who's taking this one? Commit to it.
I'm taking FaZe for this one because actually, like the initial storyline, I think this is the time when FaZe is actually in the superior position. It's not just the Carragher versus Nico story.
Yanko? I think so. This is the perfect map for G2 to make an upset, but I still think FaZe is too strong at the moment. They're going to be 2-0.
All right, well, great to get your thoughts. Let's get into the action. I'm pumped for this one. G2 versus FaZe. Take it away, guys.
Yes, Richard. It's going to be a fun game on Mirage. I can't wait for it. Analysts all on the side of FaZe.
And as am I. Yeah. Are you going the G2 route?
I don't really know.
Come on. No, Anders.
I don't have any real stock in either one of these. I know everyone's in the first.
Yes or no? You're not walking out of this one. I want a prediction.
Thing is, I've been so disappointed by G2 so many times in the past. I'm gonna go with FaZe. I can't. All
right, there we go. We got it.
I can't deal with it anymore. I want to. I really want to, but it's been so. I've been scarred by G2. It's too much. They just. I can't deal with it.
It's so hard to get you to actually agree to a prediction, but we did it, guys. We did it.
We did it.
Anders, he actually predicted FaZe.
It's just
everybody going for the FaZe up in this match. And I think so, because Rain performs great on Mirage. It's a home map for him. He always just smashes heads.
True.
Twist looks really comfortable on the map right now.
Yeah.
You've got two guys who are just bringing really hot firepower. And then you've got Carrigan. It's pretty much his home court.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like everything favors FaZe on this map in particular.
The thing is, I know a lot of people have maybe both G2 or FaZe in the 3-0 category. One of these teams is about to be 2-0.
Yeah, somebody is, I think that's James Bardolph, right? Who's actually still logged in, and he went 3-0 G2. I don't know what he's smoking right now. But
Steam account logged in, that's so dangerous.
And he's got some sick skins as well. Bardolph, we're
had.
Not gonna say anything more.
Here we go. FaZe and G2 in a best of one on Mirage to decide who's going to be moving into that upper bracket, I guess we could call it, the 2-0 position, which is absolutely a great spot to be in. And we're going to find out right now who it's going to be. FaZe, I think they can be considered the favorites as much as you can. Again, we have to really pace ourselves. Remember, it is a best of one, and it's very hard to predict that. It's just not the same thing. So, could be some interesting upsets here, without a doubt. Obviously, later on in the day, NIP Astralis. That's a wild game that's waiting out there.
Where's their coach? Where's G2's coach?
I don't know. Out for a stroll?
Well, okay, because it looked like, was it Robon who was standing behind him? It looked like Robon. I didn't see his face.
Maybe we'll catch him a little bit later on. It's possible.
I want to get camera shots in the future of the coaches behind the players so that we can actually see who's there. Because G2 rely heavily on Medic. At least he was the one who created the roster. But we'll see. This is going to be a quick play onto the B-bomb side already.
Yes, it will. Flashbang to slow them down, but they're already jumping out. Smoke will block off Wolfmeister. Oh, what? He just jumped at him, and I didn't even know what that was. Wiggled his Glock in his face and just killed him. That's so ridiculous. 4 on 5, and the bomb is down. Good little boost and a good kill for Twist to take down Nexer, and it's back into a 4 on 4. And this is a very, very tricky retake. I don't know if he had a kit. Carrigan probably did. So at least it's on the bomb side somewhere. Twist with another headshot and a third one to add to it. Hunter, though, is wild and wrecking in the back of the bomb site. And Twist, they don't need to fight him. Just leave him alone. He's very low on health. He has to go and pick up the kit and defuse the bomb, and Jax will take him down before they even get closer. Good start for G2.
It's so weird to see Jax holding up in the B apartments. Usually he's the first body throw
Yeah,
flying
that's
out onto
true.
the bomb site, and yet this time around nothing. And he's hiding. Maybe it's got to be Matic behind them. So no word on G2 changing up their coach or anything like that. So I'm assuming it's him behind. But we're gonna get to Amanek. Amanek charging out first. Amanek, though, the thing is, it's like if it was gonna be anybody else, it has to be Amanek. Yeah, that's sick.
It's like he couldn't quite get the bullets out of the Glock, so he was like shaking it, like, get those bullets out.
That is sick. But yeah, Amanek, I mean, he could be that second guy to just step up. If the team need an entry fragger and Jax happens to be on the other part of the map, I fully expect Amanek to be the one taking point, and he can find kills. Good to see Hunter waking up with a couple of pistol kills as well. That'll feel good for him.
Yeah, I mean, this is the promise of G2, isn't it? Nico, we know that he's going to be good, but the Nico and Hunter duo is actually just so much fun to watch when it's working. So we need both. Kerrigan, nice scout shot to the dome. It's going to be Nexa to go down next. Olofmeister was lurking in the corner. That's a 5-on-3. Brokey playing it close with the Deagle. Again, it's been a little bit nerfed for that kind of close play, but it doesn't make it bad. It just means it's not going to straight rank a whole team at the same time, but you can do a lot with it here. As you can tell, Brokey, no troubles. Actually makes the jump out and lives. That's ridiculous. Twist showing up with a shot, and Hunter goes down. Leaves Amanek at a 1 versus 4. So FaZe, very, very quick to respond here. Olofmeister going to get the kill. They're going to be able to save at least a couple of Galils and a Mac 10 as well. What a great return.
Yeah. What a perfect follow-up round, and all off of a Kerrigan getting flashed and still hitting the headshot with that scout, baiting them onto that B bomb site for Olofmeister. Deagle's still good. One-shot headshot still does the trick. So if you got the aim, you can still use that gun in such a volatile manner. And so Olofmeister finding the kill there, that's just G2 walking in one at a time to their deaths. Anti-eco hell, essentially. HE to top mid. It's going to set it up. Yep, nice 1-2 combo.
Yeah, that's great. Whether it's just one person like that, but if they were rushing out, I mean, it's just a good way to slow them all down. So, well enough played. 4 versus 5.
Just chilling out here. All right. Thought for a second he'd actually caught the guy on bench. Rain usually likes to play around here. And sure enough, it is Rain playing Firebox.
Yeah, don't give Nico too many chances either with a Deagle. Obviously, of legacy with that particular weapon, so just try and leave him alone if you can, or at least call in a little bit of backup. That's going to be not good of a nade. Thought maybe it would bounce a little bit further back, but still, they have a crossfire of sorts set up here by the wind. All right, Roki's tired of waiting. He wanted to go for the fight, and they know where Nico is. They can probably even guess that it is Nico here. So 1 versus 5 against him. They're being respectful. They're sort of boxing him in, and finally he's going to get a chance there. Brokey will take him down. Good.
Still hits
good
that
job.
body shot. He hit 2 body shots on Rain.
Yeah.
That's at range. That's scary. Nico is a freak with the Deagle.
Yeah, he's got some good highlights.
And that's right. It's not Robon standing behind G Fuel. That's right, or behind FaZe, because I don't think he could make the LAN.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, it's their analyst. Man, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Fair enough. We'll figure it out, guys.
The internet will know.
Different setup here for FaZe.
4th round, and we've got pistols on the G2 side yet again. They would love a bomb plant. Could be nice for the following round. I mean, they're going to have enough cash in the next round to buy something, but yeah, the smoke, just go for it. You might as well try. There's no point in waiting too much longer. Galil, pretty effective here. Rain with the double so far, and they're just all trapped. And they're going to get a bomb plant this time. Everyone nearly from FaZe has shown up here. It's going to be Brokey with a deadly round. Good triple on him. Just powerful start for FaZe, even after losing the pistol. 3-1 in their favor.
Double headshot on Twist nearly kills him. So this is as good as it gets. Look at the money now for FaZe Clan. After losing the pistol round, they have a fantastic bank going into this buy. And this is a buy round where they have to go for Galils in order to afford grenades on G2's side. So G2, they've hit a real stumbling block here early on in the game. And now we have to see them dig deep here. And it's looking like we'll get a default kind of approach from G2 in this round. And some aggression into Palace. 1-2 combination. That's what had to happen. Brokey does get that trade kill. So important. But now you've taken the lurk out of the picture for G2. This really hampers G2's strategy.
And it's so cool because, I mean, trading 1-for-1 is probably going to favor the T side most of the time, but it's a MAC 10 that they had. So it also is a little bit easier to throw that away. You're like, all right, well, we gave away a MAC 10 to take down an AK-47. That's probably a little bit of fun all on its own. They are setting up for it here. They got to be careful. Kerrigan is still hiding in that corner, and it's hard to check. They make the jump out, and Kerrigan keeps spraying. Instead of following the guy that's already out the window, he leaves that up to his teammate Hunter with a strong kill there to bring down Kerrigan, though. And Brokey, he's on the site, and he's feeling a little bit lonesome, but backup Amanek will take him down. Spray long range for Hunter. That is very optimistic. Rain, could he find the kill here? Amanek was already a little bit tagged up, but it doesn't matter. He's going to hit the headshot anyway, and it's a 2 versus 1. Olofmeister on his own here with a Galil. Very strange round. Just a lot of it decided by just individual 1 versus 1s in that B bomb site versus Amanek, and came out on top.
You gotta give it to Hunter, though. He hits that shot on Kerrigan. Don't know how yet. I think he was able to just barely walk up with the AWP, but that was a sick shot. Okay, now Olofmeister has the info. Now he knows. There it is. Turns it into a 1v1. He knows where both players are now for G2. This is so important.
I don't even think he faked running away. He just wanted to see if he could do it. Oh, it's close. He had the right idea. Nexa went and checked for him, but the headshot will make the difference. That's really, really close. That was almost a clutch there. I think he, in his mind, he was like, if I relocate really quickly, maybe I could do it, but I think he changed his mind. Last second there. All right. Important round for G2 and Amanek in charge of, I mean, those for G2 and Amanek in charge of, I mean, those two fights in their bomb site. If he loses even the second one there, it's a tough round to win.
He's a hero. He's a hero. So, once again, Amanek coming up with the goods for his team. A little flash over top mid just to keep things honest. Hunter going to go ahead and show some presence, but this is looking like it's going to be a quick play onto A, although a nice smoke into Palace could, slow things down. Once that smoke goes in, they're deciding, okay, we're going to go ahead, and we've baited out quite a bit of utility here, and we'll leave our lurker behind. That's going to be Nico, just sitting up in Palace.
Speaking of utility, look at the grenades on G2, in spite of the fact that they won the round, but because they win it in a 1 versus 1, they have almost nothing to work with here. Nico going down to Rain, that is a big kill up in the A apartments, and the way that they were rotating, it looked like they wanted to do one of those strategies where they start to make some noise at B and push that, and when people rotate out of the A bomb site, you've got that late lurker in A that can shoot people in the back as they're running out. Obviously, that's not going to be possible any longer, so a bit of a shame losing Nico that early on. Run boost into the middle. Still got some time in this round. 50 seconds. Getting the mid control from all different sides.
This is, I really appreciate the fact that FaZe Clan are taking steps to eliminate that lurker in Palace. We've always said it, how important that role is on the T side to have that guy, because he keeps it possible for you to hit that A site, but he also makes it a threat if you hit B to catch the rotators, right? So Nico dying multiple rounds now in Palace has really hampered G2's abilities.
I don't know how Hunter wins that fight against
No widzicie, na razie oglądamy ten mecz, a potem obejrzymy kolejny. Kolejny jest o 20 chyba, coś tam. Pogramy w coś pusa i z wami odezwę się do was. Najpierw powiem tak, że obejrzymy ten i się do was i potem pogramy sobie w... No pogramy se i o 20 oglądamy kolejny, bo Virtus Pro, jestem za Virtus Pro, będę grał za Virtus Pro, będę ten oglądał. Teraz oglądamy jeden mecz, potem o 20 z minutami jest, za 2 godziny jest Virtus Pro.
He's being proactive, catching Nico and Palace. I mean, that just forces them into mid, that forces them into an awkward situation on that B side later on. Kerrigan somehow just really fluffed that duel with Hunter, you're right to point it out. But that kill from Twist, getting the trade on short is so important as well. Everything coming together here for FaZe in these rounds. It really feels like it. G2, they had an explosive pistol that worked out. It really feels like it. G2, they had an explosive pistol that worked out really well. But past that, it's just been a clutch. It isn't really anything you can build on here for G2 in these buy rounds. So another round of eco coming up here for G2. A terrific chance for FaZe to build some more money and to build some more confidence.
Yeah, and because they had some of those really successful rounds earlier, it means even if some of these rounds are a little bit close into 2v2s at the end, they're still starting to build, you know, or they have enough bank to actually make these upcoming rounds work, and that's super important, right? Still 3,500 there on Brokey, 2,000 on Olofmeister. It's something to build on. Brokey will take down Amanek to start with. And the rest of the pistols here. Nico hanging around. There's the headshot to bring down Rain. Almost catching Twist. He's actually going to try and make the jump for it there. Didn't want to commit to it, it seemed. Going to have a chance for another fight here. Again. Oh! That's a spin! Dropping Carrigan. I was about to say, this is why you don't fight him. Just leave him alone. He has to get to a bomb site. But if you keep doing this, he's going to keep taking the fight. And from the looks of it, winning it. Third one maybe coming in here. Olofmeister's thinking about Nico's got it red, and he'll pop his head as well. Absolutely disgusting round, but a classic as well. Nico's shown up for the major, and everyone loves it. Brokey and Twist 2 versus 4. Jax is just hovering over the window here. Jax is just hovering over the window here. He's just won the round with 3 Deagle headshots.
What can you do against that?
Don't give him the opportunity. That's what you have to do. You have to try and avoid getting into that long-range fight.
It's just gross what Nico's capable of with the Deagle. He's always a threat. Dude, jokingly in the past, you've just said, stop him buying rifles and just give him a Deagle every round. He'll get more kills. He is always a threat with that pistol. It's so sick. And well, now, does he find the shot?
That's where it is.
The answer is no, but you see the reason is, Anders, he had the M4A1. If he had the Deagle, it would have been fine. But no, had to use the M4A1, and he dies.
Wow, some of those shots were, again, I mean, that's where on a team like this, maybe the first one you could be like, all right, maybe so, but some of these later ones here, this spin though is just disgusting, but
so sick.
You'd want for there to be a call from the top down, so presumably Carrigan's sort of, wait a minute guys, there's like 40 seconds, just they have to get onto a site to put the bomb down. While they're doing that, it's way less likely that Nico is going to be landing some of those shots because they're all running across the bomb site. So I would say it's only really a slight misstep because on the other hand, there just aren't that many players in the world that can do what Nico does. So it's maybe also hard to expect. 4-3 now, stolen round.
It's just one of those risks you run. But this kind of builds on that narrative, Anders, that these have been really weird rounds where G2, I mean, pistol round, 1v1 clutch, Nico getting 3 headshots with the Deagle. These are kinds of rounds where you can't really count on that happening every single time if you're G2.
True.
So they're not out of the woods yet. FaZe Clan still shouldn't feel like they're out of, like they've lost control of the situation. They just need to keep their heads in the game, and I think that was a good time for Kerrigan to call a timeout. Just to slow it down, give them a chance to breathe and shake it off.
Yeah, it's a good point, and that's
the smoke.
Yeah, just Twist going down. He was getting a little bit curious there. I was going to say, I think on the other side of it, though, G2, this is also the kind of round that they need to build on, right? They need to fight. This is where everyone should get fired up and really start to put in some more kills on the board because, yeah, you can't rely on Nico getting the triple kill every round. So just try and see if you can find some stability in that. Olofmeister getting that kill. Oh, the bomb, it fell in towards Olof. That is unfortunate. He's going to follow that up with a headshot. Yeah, he can put down the Molotov and buy a lot of time. Can't believe, even they're in the 2-on-3 here, Olof about to get shot at the back. That's a nice jump from Hunter. He himself is going to get caught jumping from Rain. Just everyone died jumping. Fair enough. Rain the last to go down, and G2 will win the round.
So weird. What are these rounds going on here, Anders? The bomb, even the bomb is conspiring against G2 in a way. Somehow decides to fall into the ladder room. What is that?
That could have been really dangerous. Again, all it took there for Olofmeister was sort of hearing it or turning around. If he could have got that kill, it was a 2-on-2, and he had the bomb under his control for a while at least.
That's very cool to see Olofmeister coming up with some kills, though. A lot of, he's kind of just been trying to find his game again as he was brought back onto the roster out of semi-retirement. And, he was struggling for a little bit, trying to keep that 1.0 rating, but it feels like he's been powering up. IAM fall, he really rallied towards the end of that tournament, started popping off and having some big rounds. And, well, at least here, it was 8 kills so far. And so, if FaZe can count on him to come up, that's going to be terrific for them. And it's still early days. I mean, this is a map where it's really not until the very end of the map that you start to get worried, because it's still a 50-50 in terms of like 8-7 halves. It's really rare to see one side dominate the other.
Yeah.
So just be patient. We get to just kind of sit here and really enjoy these rounds right now.
Well, Carrigan, he gets dropped, and they made the right call. A little bit late here in the in the round as G2 get the bomb plant down. They've still left Nico over on this A side. I guess it's not necessarily that bad. Just always got to be careful about giving away more guns. They've already had the 1 AK here on Olofmeister. But that means G2 are about to be in the lead, 5-4. That is interesting. And I think even worse still is that economy that FaZe had building so early on, it's been wiped out. So they are going to have to be a little bit careful here that they don't let G2 run away with too much. Because again, I think we've seen Nico get some good shots. Hunter's up there as well, and Amanek. So a good little trio. Actually, probably plenty of a trio to make a best of one work. If they can keep that going and have those 3 people hitting shots, that should be really cool. 10th round coming up now. They're lacking some important tools now on the FaZe side of things, amongst other things, that AWP. That's something that they're going to need to find a way to get back on that CT side. That'd be very helpful.
I'm curious to see. Oh, well, go ahead.
Just the AK on Olofmeister. No AWP.
This is a real strategy that they're building off of. G2 getting Nexa down there fast, and this time it's Hunter. He will be backed up, though. He's not alone in Palace, but a very quick acceleration onto the A bomb side is what G2 are trying to go for here, with Nexa lurking in mid, trying to catch the rotate. Rain heard the footsteps. He knows somebody's on the bomb site right now, and sure enough, Twist getting caught. Beautiful work from G2 so far.
Yeah, this is working out so well, and they're going to be out of money once again. Nico will find the 2nd kill of the round for himself. Olof, unfortunately, he's going to have to try and save the AK once again.
Yeah, what a cool change of pace from G2. We've seen a lot of slow rounds this major so far. Teams really playing the clock, taking their time, forcing their opponents to use utility. It's not often that we see teams really just decide to change up the pace completely and accelerate quickly onto a bomb site. And it wasn't even necessarily a rush. It was just very quick moving off of Hunter, getting that kill from Palace early.
Yeah, and the fact that there was nothing to signal it means you're so caught when you're down there. You think, why are they that far out with no flashes, no smokes? What's going on? It can definitely be very disruptive. Olofmeister goes down. Jax will find him. This is such a nice return. They could have been rattled already, G2, right? You win the pistol, but then you lose the following round. They start to build all that economy. It feels like they were up 3-1 at one point, and now here we go. They're right back in the mix, 6-4 in their favor. Starting to look quite fresh, I've got to say. And the money, again, is going to be wrecked on the FaZe side. Yeah. So what is the solution?
Well, they're starting to pick up some pace here, G2. That's 3 rounds in a row now for them on the T side. Fully bought up with all the nades that they could want as well. So it's a great opportunity for them to get a feel-good round now that FaZe have to go for an eco. Still, G2 have to be careful. Obviously, that was the 2nd round of this first half that FaZe were able to upset them with a force buy. So they still have to be careful around these scouts and deegs. Don't want to be running into it one after another again. But I like this, just making a little bit of noise over towards Banana with, or towards B rather, with some grenades just to keep FaZe honest, and then they can work back over here for the...
It's a sign that maybe it's going to be a B hit. Whereas, in fact, Rain is going to run into everyone. It's a pretty cool headshot, but it's not going to save them. This should be a pretty quick bomb plant here. Although, actually, G2 are slowing it down. I thought they would just go for it, but is that going to buy enough time for the rotation of the CT's bomb? We still have 30 seconds on the clock. There's Jax putting down the bomb, and it's being bodyguarded all over the place. They're making absolutely sure no one could peek that from middle. Olof, though, sneaking in. There's one shot. Oh, he's flashed for the follow-up, though. Can he still get it? There's an escape. I think Jax has made his way back, and he's going to take down Kerrigan. That is so fortunate. Jax coming in with a nice triple spray down. Olofmeister finally back for that kill that he wanted 10 seconds ago, but couldn't get because of the flashbang. And now, I don't know if he could do this. Again, he does not have a kit and no more nades either. So this is probably the best move for Olof. Even if it would be fun to see him try and go for it, it's not going to happen.
Guess who's living up to his name? Oh, he turns around. Both of them. That was so awkward. Hunter running with his knife out, trying to beat him, and Olofmeister thinking that they were hot on his heels. What a shame. Still, the Hunter is rewarded. Such a close round, though. FaZe are such a threat with these pistols. It's so crazy how much damage they're able to do each of these eco rounds. And yet, it is still going to be G2 picking up another one. 5 rounds in a row now for G2. This is really starting to pick up some steam.
I mean, yeah, it makes you wonder what would have happened if Olof hadn't got flashed. If he could have landed a second headshot on Jax, because then Jax doesn't get the triple kill anymore, and maybe they just actually win the round. 7-4, though. Hunter in the middle. Kind of walking into the smoke. If he gets a kill here at all, there's no one can rotate. Amanek jumping down. What a great entry. Doesn't matter that he dies. That is all he has to do. Olofmeister, he gets him in return. Hunter is hiding inside and Twist. Oh, he knows, but Hunter's going to get the vision back first.
Dude, Olaf.
That's the benefit. Yeah, he's all over the place, but Rain goes down. He's all over the place, but Rain goes down. It's a double AWP. Now, do you want to risk it and try and lose it here? No scope not connecting. That's one of the rifles gone. Oh, man. This is a real good first half right now for G2. They're about to be 8-4.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is really just going to set them up for success. Now they win the first half. And if they can keep extending this from here, it's just going to shape up even nicer. I mean, now you're going to get FaZe Clan on pistols going into this next one. And so in an ideal world, G2 could run away with this first half and utterly crush FaZe Clan's hopes. We could have a rare performance here. But again, G2 stylistically very different right now. They are, I mean, because that was an aggressive play onto the B bomb site this time. Really just explosive behind the flashes and just throw. I think it's catching FaZe off guard with how aggressive G2 are playing this. They're not letting FaZe make plays for info. They're not, holding angles and waiting for the CTs to dictate when the action starts. G2 are the ones who are determining where the fight happens right now, and I think that's kind of throwing FaZe for a loop.
And realistically, when you look at the way that that plays out, if Amanek dies 1 second earlier and doesn't get the entry kill, the whole entire train that's coming up behind him could stop in its tracks. Suddenly, they could reset the whole thing. They could, throw out another Molotov on the ground or smoke themselves up and hide inside of the bomb site. So Olofmeister got that kill 1 second after his teammate fell. But that's the real difference. If you're an entry fragger, you know that. I don't think Amanek is upset at all that he got shot in the back. He's like, whatever. It's all fine. I did what I came here to do. 13th round. Jax is being set up now. Are they going to flash him in? He's really quick on Are they going to flash him in? He's really quick on the ramp. But again, the speed that you were talking about, they're going to continue with that once again. He's already out, firing at the boxes. Good headshot from Nexa. Karrigan was just curious, but that'll get him killed. Brokey on that AWP. Might already be time to retire it and try and save it. Even if you want to do something here, you want to be a hero at that CT spawn position, could easily lose you the rifle. Rain, he's crouched here at the edge. I think they've already heard the deagle. So they're going to be aware. Brokey can't see much of anything. Olofmeister is down. Rain, he's going to get swiped as well. And that leaves Brokey. And again, running it's just unfortunately the best choice. Man, what a hard game this has turned into. It's going to be 9-4. Good flick. But I don't think G2 care at all about losing these rifles. They've got so much money. They're not going to be saving in this first half at all.
They're getting completely railroaded in this first half is what's happening right now. I'm so surprised by this turnaround from G2. Oh, yeah. Can't catch a break, can he? They know.
He's boxed in. He's shot at the back. Amanek with a bit of an easier kill this time for him. 9-4 in their favor. 14th round. They have enough to rebuy the AWP. That is at least something.
Yeah, they at least have that. I mean, that was the round of eco coming up, so now they actually have some money to play with here. But they have to win out the remaining rounds of this half phase, or it's not going to go well for them. This could be the case of G2 also just playing up to the level of their opponents and this really working against FaZe Clan right now in this first half. As Nico, probably that one round gets G2 pretty fired up. All of a sudden it's changing it.
Jax again with the aggression just running out here. Counter flash and Rain gets into the bomb site, but they know that he's there. He's not going to stay alive for long. Yep, here come the Molotovs to put on top of him. Smoke will buy him some time. Actually enough time for Brokey to show up, but now Rain is playing on top of it. Are they falling back? Yes, they are. They're calling the retreat, but Hunter, if he can beat them to the B bomb site, that's still worth it. Karrigan making the run. Did he hear it? Hunter, it looks like he's looking for it. He might have realized if he has, he's going to call it into his teammates, and they're going to be aware. They're already walking, but Karrigan scoped up. He's going to catch. No! It goes the other way. It looked like that should have been the kill. Jax, that's a really smart move. Almost could have called Rain. Probably should have won that fight. Brokey, though, he's got his back turned to that AK, and he goes down. He wanted to catch them up in the hallways. Brokey playing some 4 or 5 dimensional chess here, trying to catch everyone. But instead, it blows up. It's Amanek with a double kill in the round. It is a 10th on the board for G2.
And G2 are just looking terrific right now. Hunter, that's the key information. He's able to locate Kerrigan, and there is no way that his teammates rotating in are going to get caught off guard at that point. They know where Kerrigan is, and that's unfortunate for Kerrigan. He just was not expecting there to already be somebody that far up. He had to take a risk, and it didn't work.
And it's possible that Hunter, hearing the footsteps, he doesn't really know if it's down on the
No, he knew.
catwalk.
He knew at
Yeah,
that
but
point.
well, he checks, so he definitely knows.
As soon as he
right?
clears it, he
but
knows.
that's what I mean. Like initially, when he hears it, he can't know if it's catwalk or down below. So he just goes and looks and says, "All right." Hunter goes down this round. Rain with a kill. Olofmeister going really aggressive, and I'm not sure why. Maybe wanted to help out Rain down in underpass. Either way, they both get killed, and now it's a 4-on-3. This is an incredibly powerful first half for G2.
Still leaving 2 alive here on a site for FaZe, and I think they're going to go for the gamble. Can they stack on A and just keep these 3 here and hope, cross their fingers, that this is where G2 is going to wind up?
Why not?
Yeah, it's looking like that's going to be the call from FaZe, and that would be a terrific gamble on their part.
I mean, there's almost no better call, is there? What you have 2 from us and a Deagle.
Dude, man, G2 have just got them downloaded right now.
But they might, I mean, keeping 3 people near the middle of the map, so you can go everywhere from there, right? If they show up middle, it's great, but...
Yeah, but now it's like, you know, they're not going A. So this is, you'll have to retake, unless...
Yeah, they're rotating, it's good. But, I mean, the fact is, even if they actually have 3 people on the B bomb site, it's like, yeah, but they don't have almost anything to fight with.
Oh, wow. No respect. Jax just walks through that smoke like it wasn't even there.
Yeah, doesn't care. They've called it. Such a good call coming out here. G2 absolutely fired up. Straight headshot to take down Kerrigan. And Brokian twist, 2 versus 4. What an incredibly powerful... Again, remember, FaZe won that second round after losing the pistol, and that's how they... I mean, that's how they got off to a little bit of a jump. Otherwise, they've been wiped out in this first half. This is absolutely dominant. Broky next to fall, twist on his own, trying to take the fight against the rest of the G2 squad. It's not going to happen. 11-4 in favor of G2 in that first half. Well done.
Utterly destroying FaZe Clan. I just can't get over how they just completely controlled this end of that first half. You can't get around it. It's what, 8 rounds in a row that they managed to pick up. 9 rounds in a row. 9 rounds in a row for G2 on the T side. Total domination, and I bet you a lot of it has to do with that guy on your screen. Not that one, Hunter, but we just went past him, Nico. Because he's just going to be sitting here going, okay, Kerrigan, I'm in your head. I know what's going on here. I know how to fix this.
Yeah, I mean, and Nico was playing well. That one triple deal round that really got them fired up, it seems. But Amanek has been playing so well. Some of the entries that he's got have been absolutely crucial to this particular half, and I've just got to say the whole team is looking really fresh right now. 11-4. What a demolishment so far. We'll see if it's going to change. Second half is coming up now. FaZe, they need to wake up in a big way. They need this pistol and then a lot more to follow up behind it. They have got a P250, actually 2 of them in play in this round, so they can try and equalize the distance of that USP. Always a good idea. Hunter, living up to his name, looking for the kill, taking down Kerrigan, who's had a pretty miserable game so far. He's 3 kills in the entire first half, and he's not going to get one of the pistol either, thanks to Hunter. But they get traded. At least it's a 4-on-4. And now they're going to try and see if they can collapse onto that A-bomb site. Running out in the open. It's pretty risky, but no one's found them yet. And maybe they could get a quick bomb plant here. You could see Rain, he kind of wants to do it, but he's not sure if anyone is going to be peeking him. So it's a bit risky while this is all going on. Amanek playing a game of patience against Olofmeister in the jungle at the moment. There's the headshot. Oh, Nexa, that's beautiful. And he keeps going. Triple headshot, wiping them out. And G2, they're going to win the pistol on the second half. And Nexa, a little bit quiet in the first half, but that was beautiful.
FaZe playing scared, Anders.
But that was beautiful.
FaZe playing scared, Anders. There's no 2 ways about it. FaZe playing scared. G2 are the ones taking the initiative at every turn, it feels like right now. Aggressive rounds to finish the first half, and here not even waiting for them to try and plant the bomb, just saying, okay, we're gonna come in. You guys aren't gonna plant, you guys aren't gonna fight, we'll bring the fight to you. They are not letting FaZe get comfortable whatsoever. G2 are just completely controlling this map right now. It is so cool to see. This takes some real confidence, just some real confidence and just some disrespect, just not showing any respect to FaZe Clan.
Yeah, I mean, this is really impressive. 12-4, Olofmeister. looking to see if he can get some revenge with the Deagle. Which is a good idea. They've got a lot of them on the C side right now. So we'll see. G2, even the smoke up here is something that we didn't really get to see too much out of when they were on the CT side phase. They kind of just went and fought Nico in the middle, trying just to... Again, they have to get the bomb plant down eventually. Actually, speaking of which, the bomb is in T-spawn, so maybe they don't. They've just said the Deagles will either win or we're not even going to try.
What is going on here, FaZe?
Just...
I mean, you're in a point where you
Jak
could...
chcesz, to zapraszam do donatowania. Będziemy sugerować.
Yeah, this is really disappointing.
Będziemy obstawiać wyniki, obstawiamy. Obstawiamy, czy wygramy.
There's no backing.
Yeah, there's no backing out. It's Deagles and nothing, baby. And not going to work out. 13-4. G2, they are... That's completely destroying FaZe. I'm shocked. And impressed at the same time. And again, like I said, I feel like I've had my heart broken so many times by G2 that I just... Do you get excited too early? Is it too much here? I feel like, should we be cheering for them, or is it going to be another painful turn of events?
What's going on right now with FaZe? Because, I mean, it still remains Olafmeister. Olafmeister is the top fragger. Now, it's good to see Olaf hitting some shots. That's fantastic.
Sure, yeah.
But that's not the winning combination for FaZe Clan. Where is Twists? You know, where's Rain? Where's Brokey? What's going on here?
I mean, they have some kills, don't they? I don't know. You look at the scoreboard only. You would not from that think, oh yeah, this is a 13-4 game. You look at that, you think this is probably like a 12-8 type game, maybe. Something. It feels like it just should be way, way closer than it actually is. So,
just round after round bleeding out towards G2. Nicely done there, Rain catching out Nico. All right, so a little angle play now. Rain can actually start to infiltrate this defense. Maybe we can get a crunch going towards the A site. FaZe seem to think that that's possible. Get a crunch going towards the A site. FaZe seem to think that that's possible. Twist was rotating around to T-spawn now with that bomb.
Rain though getting caught.
Dangerous.
Yeah, especially because the element of surprise kind of goes away when, not that they could have guessed that he probably would have jumped in the window. They might have been thinking about that anyway, but now they definitely know. And he's been all the way pushed out. Down the middle we go. Next up with a peek. He's gonna go for it again. Rain though, quick on the trigger. He was dead 100% there. Brokey to take down Hunter, who I think was pushed in there by the Molotov that Rain threw.
Yeah.
He was actually herded towards it.
Do they get to have a round like that now, FaZe?
They've already given up. That's incredible. Rain doing all the work.
Here we go. The man is the master of the pistol.
Now, I think we talked about this when Astralis were making that comeback on Ancient, how you can sometimes win a round and then that'll reset everything. Doesn't feel to me like this is that kind of round. This isn't some crazy thing. I mean, it's cool from Rain, but you need a lot more.
Yes.
They're gonna have to build so much.
Witam serdecznie na czacie. Oglądamy wynik centralnie.
Such a long road back. This would be almost unprecedented comeback, I feel like.
O 20 będziemy oglądać Virtus.pro. Pro.
I mean, it feels like we've had a lot of teams playing these rounds very close, and the pressure is just enormous right now. This is the major after all. These are best of ones, so you can get ahead, but then, as we say in the past, as we've seen in the past, it can be very difficult to finish, to get the win, right, the end of the map. And so we've seen a lot of teams fight back in these series, and I wouldn't count FaZe in there. I mean, it's a veteran roster on this team. I would not count them out. So now it's a question of whether or not G2 can show some fortitude here and just shut FaZe down, not even let them get any momentum going in the second half.
No, nagrają 2 mecze.
Over towards ramp, at least with the nades.
Jeden mecz pół godziny trwał prawie, no to...
Yeah, might actually be favored against the FAMAS here, just from the speed of fire, but no, Kerrigan.
Flash, Kerrigan somehow dodges that flash completely.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Szkoda, że już nie zobaczymy Izaka w Virtusa.
Hamonic is playing deep back here with the organ play. Can he hear that bomb going? You think he can, but he's not able to get the shot, and the bomb will be planted, so a lot of spray through the walls of smoke that are up around the bomb site, but nobody finding a kill. And now they have a hard choice to make here on the G2 side. Do they actually stick around and potentially lose the guns, or do they try and go for the retake? They don't have any control of middle. Yeah, they're going to have to go for it. They just can't. They have to run because they're not controlling middle and all. The bomb is planted kind of for that position.
Yeah.
They would have to run out and try and just sit on top of it with no smokes or anything. That's just not going to be happening. So They decide to save what they have, give another round. I mean, you can also, this is also something you could afford to do when you are up this far. That's maybe the other way to look at it.
Exactly. Don't lose focus. You're not really giving too much away here. You're just holding on to your guns. And you're saying, I mean, with 4 alive, you've got quite a bit of firepower here. You're just going to say, right, you take this one. It's fine. We're not going to give you a chance to put us on pistols and really break our economy, because now we can have 4 rifles with full nades, and it's going to be a very difficult round for you going into this one. So I don't mind this at all from G2. I actually quite like it. And in the meantime, on the other stream, Copenhagen Flames have murdered Genius's 16-2. So that's that series done, and Copenhagen Flames just continue their reign of terror.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So that would put Copenhagen Flames 1-1 now. So
Yes, not a bad position to be in. Rain sneaking in around the smoke. Got to be real careful here. Nico looking down towards underpass, but he's going to get taken down. Rain with a perfect timer to catch him there. Molotov goes deep on the other side, and that can give them a ticket in towards the ladder room. So they're going to be able to hang out there for a minute. 4 on 5 now. Hunter.
Clever.
Yeah, trying to get that job done.
That is cool, using the audio cue, trying to bait a response there, trying to bait him into the bullets.
Yeah.
Can they make their way through here, though? Nexa is thinking about it. And... oh, Kerrigan's a split second too late.
USP, that's so scary. I mean, if you would have found them, they might have been dead anyway. A little bit of a setup here. Oh, but it gets destroyed. Rain pushing right through and knocking down both Amanek and Jax. That's actually crazy. He just wiped out the defense completely.
Może byście chcieli zagrać, dajcie znać.
Sure. He's finally going to go down, but it doesn't really matter now. Hunter in a 1 versus 3, and he's going to get stopped by Brokey. This is a different Rain from the one that we saw in the first half, and that should be cause for concern for G2.
Well, Rain is... I mean, Rain, we've been saying it for a while now, right? Rain is a LAN player.
Yeah.
He's... I think this online period has made him jaded. He's not interested in it. He's like the Astralis guys. You know, he's just done it all online. Why is he bothering playing online? Online doesn't interest him. LAN is what interests him. It's his environment. It's where he thrives. And I think we're starting to see him come back into shape now. Now that we're actually getting back on LAN, we're having some competitions. We're seeing the best Rain that we've seen in, 18 months. So it's really good to see him come back into form here. And he has turned out to be a real heavy hitter for FaZe that Kerrigan can count on. And I mean, he's great at it all, right? Pistol rounds, solid. Rifles, also good. Can clutch. He can do it all for Kerrigan. So imagine Kerrigan. He's got to be overjoyed right now that Rain is just coming back into form.
That's such an insane play. Edge of the smoke, right as Amanek was turning around to try and help out inside it. He was worried about the B hallways. He wanted to have the crossfire set up there. And they're gone. 7-13. It's now just a 6-round gap. Twist running up to the bomb site. There is a big stack here, but it's all pistols. Ooh, oh dear. That's a problem.
Crouching into a Deagle crosshair.
Yeah, you just wasn't expecting it. See if they can pick up the rifle. Yep. Nexus got his hands on it.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can't lose to another. You can't lose to another pistol round here.
No.
You can't do that. That would just be unforgivable.
Problem is, when you lose a player early on in a round, like it can send chills down the entire team, right? Suddenly everyone's like, ooh.
Yep. You started walking on eggshells.
Yeah, no one wants to make that next mistake. So they're really far spread out as well. Rain, again, I guess you have to take the leash off him here because he's been hitting every single shot. So maybe it's fine to just say run into the middle Rain and kill some people. But ultimately, there's no one that can revenge Rain, right? If he goes down here, that's just it. There's no follow-up to it. So I am a little bit worried about this. The rest of them are grouping up towards the A ramp. There's a 3-man setup here. Actually, Hunter is not that far away in middle as well.
They're going to work their way out. This is filthy.
Careful about Amanek, though. I mean, they're making some noise now, so this is definitely being heard. Should be calling in the rotation from the other side. Rain trying to get through. Nico, nope. Hunter shooting him in the back, and now it's a 5-on-3. 30 seconds, no one's checked for it. They don't know that Amanek is here. All he has to do is take a step. Oh! Almost with the save. Nico with the headshot. But Kerrigan is back, and it's still going to be the round. I don't think Jax even realized. He's like, is there more people? Nope, they're all dead. Go defuse that bomb. Oh, that happened quick. It's almost blew up for them. Amanek, like he's thinking, he can feel it. He squeezes that trigger, and then he's dead. That nearly was the... That would have been so devastating.
I'm so amazed, though, that they start running. Why did they start running? I don't get that they give the audio cue like that. The whole point of them walking around there without using utility, without using smokes or flashes or anything, is to just have the element of surprise, except that as soon as you hit ramp, you started running. So the guy holding shadow hears it immediately.
I wonder if maybe what happened is that Rain got spotted in middle, so he might have just called out and said, the game is over, like, game's up. They know I'm coming, right? So if they see me lurking, maybe they can guess the rest. So maybe it was something like that. They were just like, all right, it's all up, you know.
That's really interesting. Very curious, but I mean, talk about a windfall for G2. Another monster round for them to win.
Yeah.
Just off of pistols. I mean, they have had 2 critical rounds go their way where they've just had deagles. And now FaZe, I mean, talk about demoralizing. You're going to have to just play perfectly from here on out to avoid overtime.
Jack's turning around, but they're all coming from good counter flash as well. I don't think Carrick could see much of anything. They will get the refrag, and that's worth it. Now it's a tricky 4-on-4 here. Molotov will relocate Rain. He's not going to stop piling the bomb, though.
Yeah.
And another tough call to make. You can hang around and look for a kill. If you make it a 4-on-3, you could go for it, but in terms of the money, they don't have that much to throw away, so this is a hard round to try and go for.
I think you back off. Now, are they really going to go for this?
Oh, grenade on top of the Molotov. Brokey, he just runs right out and executes Nico. That's not bad. Olaf is going to go down, and they are actually doing it. 3 versus 1, and the bomb is planted here in the open for Twist. He could go for it, but Hunter will take him down, spins around, and goes straight for that defuse.
Oh, he doesn't have it.
There we go. I think they still have it. It was Amanek that had the kit. It's going to be down to the wire. Amanek. Oh,
No way.
it is so close. Oh, no kit on the first player defusing. By the way, Hunter with a triple in this round.
Zdążył zrefuzować, kurde.
21 kills.
Skubany.
That is absolutely crazy. 15-7, and it's G2 on match point.
Well, that's just a kick in the dick, Anders.
Yes, it was.
That's unreal that they get that diffuse there, and they could not have cut it any closer. Could not have cut it any closer. What a round for G2. And that was a buy round as well, and the setup was there.
I've got to say, the HE and Molotov towards the truck where Brokey was standing, he shouldn't even have had a kill on Nico. He probably should have just been dead. And that would have made it an even more one-sided retake. So
Yes,
I mean, that's a great combination of throw.
And you think when Twist goes into retakes like that, he's got such crazy snappy aim. You think that's a situation that actually kind of favors him, because he's just so quick with his aim. 1v3 like that in a series of duels, but he uncharacteristically messes up the second fight there and just
and the bomb was
is
kind of
not able to pull it.
Yeah, and the bomb was even planted for him, right?
Yeah.
He could have probably done a little bit more, but
Tough.
15-7 now. One more round, and Amanek starts it off real well, taking down Kerrigan. Down to 4-on-5, and they don't have almost anything to fight with either phase. They're actually in a fair bit of trouble here. It was going so well. Rain was in charge of the comeback. He was just plowing through this whole second half, but now he's been stopped.
Yeah, just can't. I mean, just so much respect right now for G2 for keeping it together, despite FaZe coming up with a game plan here. It just feels like G2 are the ones to come away with the critical rounds. And it's really just been the G2 show ever since the very beginning of this map. It's like 5 rounds in.
Let's see. Amanek back here. No smoke up to block him right now. They're probably going to need that if they can get it. They have another one left, so it might be worth getting rid of him. Also a lurk in the middle from Olafmeister, but he's not going to win the fight. Nico, yeah, he knew that was part of the push. Next, I will take down Rain. Oh, it's definitely done with here. Twist is going to be falling, and Brookie on his own with a deagle. Nothing that he could do. G2 with an absolutely oh, good headshots, but it's 16-7. G2 pick it up in a best-of-1 against FaZe. That is a brilliant result.
Wow, and well, none of us predicted it. None of us predicted this. We all thought that FaZe would have it, that G2 were looking a little weak right now, not quite sure how they were performing. Well, going up against FaZe, I mean, that is just a terrific performance for them. They just utterly murked FaZe, and FaZe, you know, some of us have them as favorites at least to make it deep into the playoffs. So
Yeah.
this is a little bit of a speed bump here that FaZe have just hit, and we'll see how they can bounce back in the future.
I mean, tremendously well played. Again, it didn't really start out favoring G2. They actually had to fight for it pretty much right off the bat, and
Yeah.
it looked like it could have gone either way at the beginning. But I mean, I would say FaZe, apart from maybe Kerrigan, who had a pretty tough game, everyone was keeping up in terms of frags. It's not like they didn't have an output. Just G2 winning all of the most important rounds.
Let's just put it that way. It's just G2 coming away with 2 massive Deagle rounds.
Mateusz
Deagle rounds
Oł.
that just
1
completely
złoty.
threw
Niebieski.
any momentum that FaZe had generated, just threw it away. And then FaZe, I feel like they just kind of got lost after that. They lost a couple of those big rounds, and it really just screwed them up.
And I mean, you mentioned the change of pace as well.
Pistol round, yeah, the change of pace. That was what I was about to go for there.
They were so quick, right? That when they were on the T side, they just kept surprising them.
Well, the second half pistol kind of says it.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, there you have it. We've got plenty to talk about on the desk. Just an update as well for people watching the main stream. Obviously, we have had EG lose there again to Copenhagen Flames, 16-2, an absolute battering. Duncan, there was some sort of cheeky prediction there that you made.
The problem is, I've been to so many majors and tournaments. I normally just pick the favourite until it's like a point where I have like all the great reasons. I had no reason to pick EG. I just thought this is one of those games where, Copenhagen Flames has all the hype. Everyone's underestimating EG. What I didn't know was, bizarrely, even though they already travelled over to Europe, they already have been here waiting for the tournament to start. Apparently, the TSA just did the cavity search right now to check if they brought any contraband with them. Turns out they have nothing at all. No hidden depth.
No, nothing at all. But this was an interesting one. FaZe have been really, really good. We've been singing their praises. They come up against G2. Sure, we didn't know which G2 was going to turn up today. So I just want to start with you. I mean, G2 dominated again. It's another win for Nico against Karrigan.
Yeah, that was really impressive from G2, and today they've been impressive, especially on their T sides, right? It was something like 9-3 against 9-2 against Copenhagen Flames on Ancient T side, and 11-4 today. And they were down early on in those halves, 3-1 against Flames, 4-2 down here against FaZe. And listen, it was a team effort. They played well as a team. The calling was good. Like, they covered all the bases. But still, this round from Nico right here, this was the momentum switcher. Because from this point on, they won every single round in the first half, right? That was an eco round where they just had the Eagles, no armor. And that really also broke the economy of FaZe. They bought the next round, but that's where Amana got the kill on Twist through smoke. And they just did a B split where Brocky was also caught a little bit off guard, and from that point on, G2 just ran away with the game.
What did you make of it?
This is the first time we've basically seen the FaZe we saw for the last 3-4 months at this point in time. Like, the FaZe that was in the previous portion of the tournament, the one that played the game 1 here today, that was some sort of like throwback era. Rain's having incredible games, Karrigan's having incredible games. Olofmeister even top fragged the map in the previous phase of the competition. Like, basically, we're waiting for them to come back down to earth and have a bad game, and this has been something of a screamer. They weren't particularly in this game, especially when you consider they actually basically broke back at the beginning of the game to basically have a chance to maybe win the first half, and then they couldn't even get anything like that out of it.
Yeah, but you said as well, that everything kind of went well in your mind for FaZe, right? They get Mirage, we know how much Karrigan loves that map. But you did say there's this sort of element to them where perhaps this rivalry is getting a little bit inside of their heads because, Karrigan, I think, wanted to make a big statement against...
Sure.
Yeah, Nico's one of the best players in the world, and he's been disparaging about one of the best IGLs in the world. Obviously, both people want to prove each other wrong.
Yes. I mean, obviously, it's the same scenario we're going to have later with the Nip versus Astralis thing. It's like, you were sort of wrong, like, I can do it without you, but the star player at the end of the day in the game, the star player is the better player. They can obviously have the bigger performance, and I actually do think if you just look, it's only against G2, bizarrely. Against all of his other ex-teammates, Karrigan wins all the time, even when it's Astralis and they're the greatest team ever. But against this particular G2 lineup with Nico in, Karrigan himself struggles individually, and you see, where are the T-sides? Like, this is your map, dude. You're supposed to go to work. Yeah, the first half was pretty bad at the end, but you could have, absolutely, you've put together a big string of rounds. You could have made it close. It was never really a close game, and that's weird. That nightmare round with Amanek with the deagle, like, I don't really know what's going on. They
is
can
that
get
when
dominated
you
by
screamed?
I think it was more of a shriek. A
Oh,
shriek of horror.
a banshee out of hell,
It was a shriek of horror. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I think, luckily G2 still won that round, and that was another half buy with a couple of saved guns. But if they lost that, Amanek, he would have had nightmares tonight.
Yeah, for sure. G2 then, let's talk more about them to the victor of the spoils. Obviously, no one's out of anything yet, but
today, but I think that's where they're going to maybe run into some problems. And if they meet a team, doesn't even matter how good they are, but with the map pool matches in a sense where G2 can get Mirage and Inferno, or maybe even now Ancient looks good. I don't know how good their Dust 2 is after the update, but if they get a favorable map pool where someone doesn't punish their, you know, Vertigo, we'll see maybe a better team on Ancient, something along those lines, then I think G2 makes it into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think just because they've got 3 best of 3s to potentially play out here, I agree. They don't go 3-0. They don't beat whoever they play next. One after that's probably question depends on opponent. If you go to the 2-2 game at the end, odds are actually they're going to be in a pretty good spot at that point in time. They might actually be the better team. So I think map pool is still an issue. Probably the saddest part about the drop-off of G2 is it wasn't just tournament placings. It wasn't just individual form. The whole map pool just fell apart. They went from being a team that had to be really good on 4 maps, but they were pretty good on 4 maps, to being a team that, like, they barely even had a home map coming into the RMR. So pick-ups definitely what the doctor ordered, but I'm still far from kind of convinced that they're a team that are going to make a deep run here.
Okay. And I think for FaZe, I think they're still in good shape. It just seems FaZe is in this twilight zone sometimes. For them to figure out, but they still look really solid in the first phase. The experience that we've been talking about, I think you see them as well still in the playoffs.
So yeah, no panic stations for FaZe yet.
I don't think so. I mean, again, the key thing for me is once they get, which they guarantee to, into all those best of 3 series playoff scenarios, like that's where Carry can go to work in the veto. That's where Ancient can potentially be a punish for the opponents. Like, what's bizarre about Ancient as a map is it was supposed to come in and make everyone play Vertigo. Half the team still don't play Vertigo, so I feel like actually if you're shrewd, if in scrims it's going well enough, you absolutely can mess with a lot of these teams in the veto and they might not know where you're going.
Just tells you how bad Vertigo is as a map.
I know, yeah, we're all aligned on that one, I think. All right, guys, well, thanks for your thoughts. What we're going to do now is we're going to throw to a quick break. When we come down, we're going to be breaking down the next game for you, so make sure you join us.
Coming up next, Gambit versus Entropy.
Czekamy na kolejny mecz. A wiesz w co w CS-a oglądamy mecze, wiesz? O 20 jest mecz Virtus Pro i na niego będziemy czekać. Jak jesteś na czcie, daj znać. Czekamy sobie 8 minut. Czekamy jeszcze. No to macie opóźnienie troszeczkę, ale no. Jak jesteś na czcie, daj znać. Będziemy oglądać tego. Virtusów. Na pewno. Trzeba się do tego. Jak coś dla was przygotowuję. A i zbieram na Bus Simulator 18. Kto tam chce pomóc, to niech pomaga. Oglądamy dalej. To powinien być czat, halo. Jeszcze 6 minut. Chwila, przerzucam, bo mi zamknęła już. Chwilkę. Jak myślicie, kto tutaj wygra? Myślicie, kto tu wygra? Dajcie znać, kto tu wygra. A w co gram? W CS-a. Chcecie zobaczyć kamerkę, dajcie znać w komentarzach, czekam. Wiem, że są 2 osoby. Chcecie zobaczyć kamerkę, to dawajcie w komentarzach. Czy na ten mecz chcecie zobaczyć kamerkę i moje reakcje? Ten czy nie? Ja jestem za entropiów, jak coś. Jestem za tymi zielonymi. Zieloną ikonką. No powiedzcie, czy chcecie na pewno tą kamerkę, czy nie, tylko siedzicie. No, chcecie czy nie? No kur... Jak chcecie kamerkę, dajcie znać, ja czekam. No kur... Minuta została, wiecie? No, minutę, macie minutę. Jeszcze wirtuosów obejrzymy i pogramy w coś. I też chcę o 20, to całą godzinę. O 20 są wirtuosi. O, to będzie trwało. A ci zaczynają mecz o 19 do, nie wiem, do 20 mecz jest.
Welcome out of the PGL Major Stockholm 2021. I'm your host Richard Lewis. We have got the Russian percussion in the house, Gambit versus Entropic. And we're going to talk about that matchup now with Thorin and Janko. So, we wondered which Gambit was going to turn up because a lot of question marks about this team, you know, whether they're pretenders to the throne or the legitimate kings of Counter-Strike. There we were off to a great start. But the revelation, I think, people are talking about Copenhagen Flames. How can you take your eyes off Entropic? Elian, one of the players of the tournament, he's having his breakout moment. I'm really excited about this, actually.
I am, and we will try to paint the picture, you know, like this can actually be a low-key close game, but I don't think it will. Like, even with the domestic matchup, last time these two teams played at the CAS RMR, it was 16-0, 16-4 for Gambit. They 16-0'd Entropic on their own map pick, and every time they played each other in these RMRs and so on, in the CIS region, it wasn't really ever close. It was always 2-0 for Gambit. Mirage and Vertigo were, you know, the most played maps and so on. So this is really going to be an uphill battle. It feels like a way in is only if Entropic starts
Ukochana mapa jest tych
Yeah,
Virtusów to gramy na tym. Virtusi grają często na Nuku.
Maybe on the borderline of getting to the round of 8. They've shown us it in the first phase of the tournament. If I told you this was a team that in recent history lost to 9Z in a best of 3, a whole bunch of teams basically, Mad Lions, that lineup, like, you would think they'll never do anything at the major. They hit the ground running. They were looking really nice in the last phase. They actually comfortably got into this particular portion. They weren't in the 2-2 games. As we say, the stars, you're supposed to say, well, of course, they've not land proven. Didn't matter to Elian. He's been doing great so far.
Yep.
The problem is, this particular opponent, like Janko says, has their number. By the way, on paper, might spiritually still be the best team in the world. We don't know how those Navi players are going to play, and they do survive off individual performances. Gambit is just a fantastic team. We don't know yet if they're going to be the major champions, but as they showed in Cologne, it takes a lot to beat them. They are what they are online, they're just not quite as dominant.
And something that also Gambit has going their way, you know, in the first half of the season when they were the #1 team in the world and so on, they were playing a lot of tournaments. They also committed earlier before they knew how good they were going to be to some tier 2 tournaments. So their schedule was packed. We see them this time around for the second half of the season. They are going with a more relaxed schedule, obviously not a blast partner team, and already qualified for the finals, right, for the global finals. So having more free time in terms of that, just practice and come up with new stuff, focus on the new update as well. And I love what I saw from them today. Very even across the board, a team effort. You could see they were very composed, the communication was good. You know, that's the only way you can really, that they can underperform if they get nervous, and they didn't seem nervous at all in the end game today.
Because to me, that is the key factor, as Janko says. They are a one-man team. Gambit is arguably the most complete team in Counter-Strike right now in terms of the roles. Everyone.
Jak ktoś jest na czacie, to dzień dobry wszystkim. Oglądamy dalej kolejny mecz, jeszcze jeden i potem gramy. W czasie meczu ja się nie odzywam, będziecie... Na Virtusów włączę kamerkę, jak chcecie zobaczyć. Będziecie widzieć moją reakcję.
Usually he isn't the guy. Nickelback, I think, is one of the players that we don't mention as much, and we should. And then you have Krad and Forrester. They were part of that, you know, Dream Eaters lineup that made, was it the Berlin Major? Like they made it into the last phase, this phase, top 16 phase, right? So there is some experience there. Obviously, Hooch is their coach. He's behind them. Duncan, I'm sure, going to tell us more about him. But this is also a team that's more than just Elliot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would agree with that entirely. First of all, as he said, probably a little bit underrated, some of the experience. I mean, some of them have been at a major. It's not like they have a nobody as their coach. They have actually, by the way, one of the most tenured players in the history of Russian Counter-Strike.
Legend.
Yeah, people don't know. He was in the same Virtus Pro team that the Gambit player, Groove, the coach of their team, who's a super old school guy, he's in the same squad as him. And you notice he was in Gambit himself previously as a player. I think maybe even as a coach at one point in time when they were becoming one of the better teams. So, yeah, they've got kind of like the pieces around them. And it's just actually the poise they've shown so far on LAN. I know we're not really in the stage environment yet. And by the way, that's still the thing I'm wondering about with Gambit. We're just not going to get it tested here. Is what happens when a crowd's there. But right now, when we're just playing in the tournament area, Gambit's shown they're good enough. Entropy, I'd like to believe, because it's the best of one, they can give them a chance. It's just, yeah, you've got the history kind of going against you in the matchup.
Yeah, and so Gambit, you know, we kind of keep hitting this note about why do you guys think it is they haven't gone over with generally. It's so strange to me. I think for the first half of the year, they're easily the best team in the world until Navi really brought Bit in and basically kicked into another level. But they don't seem to be particularly like adored in the way usually the number one team.
I've got an angle on this.
Yeah.
First of all, I will say, when Astralis was number one in the world and they had their era, people forget this. The first half of their era was the whole of the scene, fans and even some top teams included, in denial, just sort of going, well, maybe the top five's just not strong at the moment, or it's because Valve changed the map pool and took out their permaban. You know what? It's actually just because, Olaf Meister went out of face. There was a million excuses. So I feel like, unfortunately, people think it's boring to be a really well-rounded and tactical team. People want it to be a one-man show. They want it to just be a highlight frag fast. So I think in this particular case, people just haven't given them their due, because the eye test, you have to have sort of a nuanced eye. They're the thinking man's team for me.
Absolutely, they're beautiful to watch as a team and what they do, and I think it's a lot of new names. Like you can't get warmed up for them. You haven't seen them as much, but I think they're getting more and more fans. I think it's a great story. They have some great personality. With how much they've been winning in the first half of the year. Been doing a ton of post-game interviews with them. Hobbit. It's a great.
Virtusów też będziemy oglądać. Tylko teraz oglądamy ich mecz, a potem Virtusów.
Obviously, Gambit won Krakow. So, look, we can take a look at the veto now. Let's do it and see what map we've got. Obviously, there was overpass earlier left in.
That's a
yeah, that's been taken away from Gambit there, and we end up with a vertigo. So, initial reaction to that, Duncan?
Here's the problem. Usually, what gives teams such as Virtus Pro, obviously the classic one is Na'Vi, a chance against Gambit is they just perma out the vertigo, and that was the map that, if you go back in time like 3 months, this team had an absurd win rate and they were basically unbeatable on it, Gambit. So this is a very bold scenario that Entropic's letting it through, and Gambit, they're just going to potentially get to show you absolutely everything in the bag.
That's what I'm going to say, Janko. I love the ball.
Jestem za zielonymi, bo kto wygra, to przychodzi dalej. Jestem za zielonymi, a wydajcie znać, z jakim jesteście.
Against Gambit, especially looking at how the overpass was the other method. I mean, Gambit put themselves on the spot at IEM Katowice with their overpass, won every single time in the playoffs and so on. And if that map is really back for them, a lot of teams are going to have problems. And I think in Tropic, I think you're 100% spot on, Richard. Just from that win against Liquid, giving you a little bit of extra confidence. You can play that same map. Today it's going to be an uphill battle no matter what, but it's one of those tick hold the boxes with the upset.
Yes. Yeah, and obviously, Gambit, you said, had this phenomenal win rate on the map. I mean, for me, it just feels like, with Axial and Shiro, there's just like so many options on that like T side. Is that going to be a feature we're going to see here?
There is, but the feature player for Gambit of this map is actually Nafani, the in-game leader, because he's the point man at A ramp, which is the crucial part of the Vertigo, and both on the CT and T side. And similar like you have it with Kindar for VP across all maps and on Vertigo, that's Nafani here, and he's actually really, really good at working his way around the smoke, sometimes being aggressive.
Jak zaraz zaczniemy mecz, to obejrzymy, potem Virtusów jeszcze obejrzymy, potem gramy w CS-a.
That doesn't even have to be the case for Gambit because they're such a well-rounded team.
Alright, well, we are going to wrap up our segment there, and I think we're actually ready to get into the game. So, that means I will throw you over to the captains of Anderson Summer. Take it away, guys.
Yeah, good setup, I believe.
Thank you, Rich. I got him. Thank you, man.
You caught it.
I got him.
Good times.
Awesome.
I think it's a good setup for this particular game. I mean, I'm glad that I'm not surprised that Duncan and Janko are kind of have the right perspective. I think on Gambit, but I think they're right in the sense that many people tend to underestimate them. I just think, like Duncan was saying, a little bit boring to watch. I don't think so at all either. I think they're a really cool team.
I think that Duncan makes a very good point.
Yeah.
They remind me of old Astralis.
Yeah.
They remind me of Astralis, where it's just methodical, clean, no weaknesses in their game plan. You had no way to punish Astralis, and it feels like when Gambit are playing well, it looks powerless. It looks like their opponents are powerless against them, and Gambit can just do whatever they want. So it's super cool to watch.
Yeah, and I think it will be. I think it'll be a really tough game here for Entropic. Even though, to everyone's surprise, they've been playing really well. That's super cool to see. It's always good to have those kind of upset stories here at the major.
Oh yeah.
Them and Copenhagen Flames, the other team maybe right now everyone's excited about. I think this is going to be a cool game. Vertigo is where we're gonna have the battle. And they are a good team on that map. There's no way around it. So I think this is going to be real tough. There really are no weak spots on this particular on this team, and I think they have such an incredible amount of mental fortitude. I've seen Gambit sometimes down
Dzisiaj będę jeszcze
crazy
grał
games, and they
od
just seem
20 do
unaffected. They bounce right back.
22.
It doesn't matter if you're up 6 or 7-0 against them. It's like, yeah, we're back. We're winning it again. It's hard to deal with.
Warming up. It's good. You know,
Please.
make sure the mouse hand is good and ready to go.
Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
That's important.
Listen, it's important not to go into a match stressed out, Anders. You need to relax. Make sure that you can focus.
I mean, there's a lot of gifts were made in that moment right there. Don't worry, the internet's forever.
Yeah, it's not going away.
It's gonna be a best of one, of course, and we just learned when we had G2 and FaZe that this is the kind of thing where you know, like upsets can happen. Best of one games. Same is true for this one. I feel like that's worth remembering every single time when you guys are making your picks or whatever it is, predicting the game. You have to just think about that.
The big thing here is though that we got under Vertigo, and that it just always feels like it's a Gambit playground. Although Entropic did do well earlier on Vertigo, so I mean you can say that they're warmed up perhaps, but I mean this is still Gambit's home turf. It's their playground, this map. So not going to get an easy one here to secure that second win.
Obstawiam, żeby dograć na Vertigo,
No, I don't
a wy
think so.
możecie obstawiać jaką mapę.
Vertigo is, I don't know. I mean, I seem to remember from having watched. We've done a fair bit of Gambit on Vertigo in the past. Exile is one of those players that's just really hard to deal with on this map. And I feel, in general, I actually just love watching him play. But yeah, like we've been talking about, they have just a well-rounded team that it's hard to do anything about. You're gonna have to wake up real early to catch Gambit off guard.
Yeah, and they've already made short work events. That's right, one of the opening matches of the day, and no pushover as we've seen. They're a team that can definitely do some damage. They've got crazy firepower, and yet Gambit smashed them 16-7. So that just goes to show. And I was a little doubtful. I think I actually picked Ents for an upset, just because I thought, okay, Ents are going to be warmed up. Gambit, you know, who knows? We're coming into this kind of LAN environment. It's always been one of the points of criticism with this team is that, you know, are they going to be able to perform to the same level once we start coming back to LAN? I mean, this is kind of halfway LAN. We're not yet there with the audience just yet. When they have the audience, then that'll be the true testing ground for the top 8 teams of this tournament who get to compete in front of the fans in Stockholm.
Yeah.
But up until that point, I was kind of like, I could see an upset. Turns out, no, not at all. No upset. Gambit have shown up to play.
Yeah, I think this is. I still think. I mean, I'd put a lot on Gambit to win this one, even in the best of one, right? But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's gonna come down to the test one when we actually get into it. Pistol rounds seem to have mattered just a lot less right now. We kind of knew that already with the economy the way that it is currently, but I feel like it's even less at the major. I feel like we've seen teams even in best of threes in the last stage, in the challenge stage, where they win both the pistol rounds. And still, they don't get more than like 6 or 7 rounds. You think, well, okay, then just, you know, not that it means nothing, but you know, I wouldn't put too much weight on it in this particular game. I think Gambit could end up going down really far behind in this and still come back swinging. I'm not counting Gambit out until the very end in this one.
No, there's too much firepower on the team.
Yeah.
You know, that's the.
Zapraszam do donitowania. Obstawiamy, że wygrają zieloni. Jak nie, to komuś kupuję Robux.
Yeah. You've got a lot to fall back on there. And so it really feels like this is a team that has everything to prove right now, and they should be feeling like they can do it. I mean, who else have you really got going deep at the major?
Dzisiaj miał być live z Robloxa, ale Roblox, no widzicie, nie działa, no to nie zrobię live'a.
But Gambit, I mean, they have all of the tools. Now it's just on them to lose it feels like.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be crazy not to pick Gambit to move on from this stage, in my opinion at least. I've noticed some people haven't. I can't comprehend it. So yeah, I definitely would as well. I guess we're just sorting out some issues before we get the match underway. Hopefully it'll be quick. Get the admins on it.
Issues wouldn't be a major without tech issues.
Yeah, sometimes I'm actually, when I just think about it, I think.
Kto wygra, ten przechodzi dalej. Kto nie, przegrywa.
SSD disk, RAM, like think about how many different components.
A to zaraz zacznie się mecz, bo 20. Pół godziny to jest 50. Mecz trwa pół godziny zawsze.
That's never gonna happen. But it's true.
That's a standard that pros should aim to meet. It's not that it's never gonna happen. It should be a requirement. We should have real consequences if you are late because you're faffing about with your settings, and you're causing a delay for the stream for the tournament for all of us. That's as a pro, you should not be. That should not be happening. Right? I'm not saying it's here. I'm not saying that's what's going on here. But I mean, you should be warmed up and you should be ready to go within 5 minutes. And
I think if we say 50, they can do it. But no, that's never happening. It would be cool. I mean, I see where you're coming from, though. I mean,
it has happened, though. Teams can be quick, but they don't play on LAN that much anymore, right? They've been playing online for how long now?
Yeah,
right?
they've been just able to relax a little bit more. Schedule's a little bit looser.
Yeah,
it's probably true. I saw some high fives. Oh, that means we can get back in that action. I really want to get this game underway. We got so many cool games coming up as well. Obviously, that Astralis International game is coming up a little bit later. Here we go.
Oh, dude, that's going to be money.
Yeah, we appreciate your patience. It's Gambit versus Entropic in a best of one here at the Legends stage. And we'll find out next who's going to be walking away with a bit of a victory. It's Gambit on the CT side first, Entropic on the T side. I don't think it makes a big difference. Axal with the USP alone. Oh, down. Lackey will drop him immediately. That is a brilliant start. And now they want to speed up behind it. Inters has shown up, and he's going to try and buy himself some time, or maybe just try and stay alive. Hobbit, he probably could have had that kill. He had the right idea, the good read, but Krad will take him down. This is looking brilliant right now for Entropic. Powerful start, and now they're hunting for the remaining Gambit members. On his own is Shiro with 1 health, and Forrester will take him down for a triple. It will be Entropic winning the pistol.
Yep, and fine fashion. Quick, aggressive, not showing respect. They're laughing. They were laughing in the warm-up. And this is the kind of attitude that they need to have if they stand a chance of beating Gambit. They need to not take them seriously. They need to not show them respect. It's a question of just not acknowledging. It's a matter, let's say, of not acknowledging that Gambit are the heavy favorite, etc., that everybody has them going through and beating you. You just need to go in and play your game and play aggressive and just take the fight to Gambit. Do not let them get comfortable. Much like what we just saw with G2 and FaZe. In the same style, right? Where G2 just didn't show any respect to FaZe, so much so that FaZe looked locked up in fear in the second half. They were hesitating so much. That's what you need to do right now if you're Entropic. You're the underdog, but it doesn't mean you don't have fangs.
Obviously playing a little bit closer to that CZ 75. It could be real dangerous. Some players just have uncanny ability to play with that weapon. I don't think I'll ever really fully understand, but can definitely appreciate when you see it.
It's magic.
Yeah. It really feels like it. Stephanie. Oh, that looked like it should have done so much more damage. It looked like it actually landed right on top of them. Here's the follow-up nade. Will do a bit, but not really that much. William will take down Hobbit instead. Forrester with a kill on Shiro, and there's a couple of kills in return with the 5-7. Nafany picking up an AK, and he takes down Lackey as well. Oh god, that turned around quickly. Now it's a 2-on-3. Krad is holding the middle, but Gambit are aware, or at least aware of the potential. They're looking for it.
They're not going to just rotate into him for free by the looks of things. That 5-7 up close is lethal. You can do so much damage. I don't think Nafany spotted him, though. And so now it's a question of whether or not Krad can hold the line. Does set it up for his teammate. Only a Mac 10, though, versus an AK up close. Let's see.
Yeah, but no head armor here for Nafany, so he's going to be dead in a second. Nickelback, he's got the angle for it here, but oh, the spray is in! And he takes him down.
Nice.
I think some of those bullets actually went through the side of the wall. But yeah, the lack of head armor there probably made the deciding difference. So close round, but Gambit get denied the upset following there. That could have been
nuts.
sick.
So nuts. But yeah, 5-7. Just clean work. 2 kills, gets in with a 3rd as well. Just doing so much work there.
Quad kill. Nafany was on track to ace his way into that round.
That would have been a monster. And it just would have been the theme of the day. Win the pistol, lose the follow-up. It feels like we've just been seeing that so often today. But now Entropic, they have a chance to build up a little bit of bank. They got a couple of Mac 10s against a hard eco here from Gambit. Although Gambit did invest a little bit. Not the biggest fan. Not the biggest fan of a 3rd round buy. Seeing that on the CT side, it feels like you really should be just trying to save as much money as possible to have as many needs as possible in the following round. But you know, they thought they could get some value. It didn't really break their way that time.
It's a quick round though. For an AWP, I believe. So we'll see how it goes here in the first real rifle round that's going to be coming up for the CT side.
Given
over to Shiro. I think it was Nafany that picked it up initially. So they traded a little bit of a gun there. Ooh, that Molotov, we've seen it thrown a couple of times. People throw it so deep, the angle. that it kind of lands all the way on the T side. That's really cool. I feel like it looks like it's so risky. It looks like if you mess it up, not that you would burn it to death or anything, but you could take like 20 damage from that. That's an 8.
That's a money nade. That is a magic apple.
He's playing really far out here on his own. He doesn't really have any backup, so how quick are they going to be? Oh, it's coming up behind him, though, and the smoke will create a bit of space. Intus, well played, and Axile jumping on top, and that'll shut it down. 5 versus 2 right now. Need to follow up. Ilian taking a little bit more damage. That's actually really interesting. He wants to go out there, but it looks like he's just kind of stuck, and Axile, he's read this whole round so well. Triple for him.
Yep, Crad with a Mac 10 right now, kind of hoping that he'll be able to find somebody, but the thing is, Gambit are too well schooled in the elemental strategies of CT side, which is do not leave the flank open. There it is, nicely done by Shiro. Doesn't miss that shot. Just make sure that you've always got somebody watching the back.
Yeah. Oh. Some fist bumping going on, but it's very soft, you know.
Yeah.
Nie poszło im
Calm
teraz.
his aim.
I guess nobody wants to, damage the hands either. So, gotta be careful. That's a good round. I was a little bit worried because it looked to me like Axile not just looked like he was on his own, but it looked like he was on his own and all the way to the right in that bomb site. So, to escape, he sort of has to run all the way back in across the bomb site, which could just be very difficult. But he had a smoke to buy some time, and he had some backup in Inter showing up at the right time. So, no reason to be panicked at all. That was just all around well timed.
Some early pressure being put out. I really like Entropic showing a bit of presence with the nades in mid like that, just to keep Gambit honest. Gambit will hear the explosions, so they'll know that, at least they'll know to keep an eye on that going forward in the future. Then Entropic, they can go ahead and rotate back around, and we can start this game on a ramp. Shiro's got the angle, though. You're going to have to really wake up early because, he misses the shot. He misses 2 shots. Shiro, that's not characteristic at all.
Yeah, especially that first flick, right? You think that's the kind of shot he hits almost every single time. So a little bit of a free movement here for Entropic. That could have maybe blown up. But they get the ramp control, and it's pretty much a standard thing to try and get. Again, even if you go back to the B-bomb side, you need to push the CTs back. Been over it many, many times. They have a strong setup here. Counter flash coming out. It goes a little bit wide, so they can still see everything. The bomb now committed to the site. It actually fell forwards. Hobbit with a good headshot, looking for more, and he's gonna. What's gonna be Nafany actually picking up the double. Hobbit went down in return, but Forrester and Ilian, I don't know what you could do to bring this round back here. Forrester trying, guessing through the smoke, but not finding anyone. I don't think he's gonna be. Ooh, he doesn't go forward. He has the. No, the bomb is still up there.
That is not the first time as well that Entropic have led with the bomb. And so that's one of those things where you want the bomb kind of in the middle of the pack so that if you lose your point man and you aren't able to capitalize off it, at least you don't force yourself, you don't lock yourself into that bomb site. Because once the bomb is dropped there, that's it. You have to commit to A, because that's where the bomb is.
Powiedział, a od pierwszej 42 do pierwszej 42
we saw that happen on the B site a couple rounds ago, and now on the A site here, they get utterly smashed because of it. So
Dracula powiedział, a od pierwszej 42 do pierwszej 42 metrów. Dracula powiedział, a od pierwszej 42 do pierwszej 42 metrów.
Also, the thing is we don't have access to that kind of information necessarily, but just how often are these two teams scrimming against one another? They're from the same region. They would have good ping back and forth. Like you don't know just all the level of detail that's going to go in with the experiences that these two teams have playing and practicing against one another. So it's games and games here.
Those domestic type matchups are always very different. It feels different. Yeah, it's harder to play than it seems. They saved the 2 AKs. They brought a Tech 9 and a couple of Deagles along the way here on the T side. So they are going to try and see if they can have more of an impact here in the 6th round. But yeah, I would agree. Gambit's defense right now is looking pretty solid. They, as they always do, don't seem to be really phased by almost any amount of pressure. So I'm not surprised by that at all, in fact. But it's always cool to see. They always have a plan, and they're just following along right now. Who's to look over, but not where Nafany is down there. Scary stuff. Oh, nice shot from Forrester. He had to check a lot there. And especially
Na razie nie
crouching. It looked
będziecie
like he was
widzieć,
good for a
chwilkę
while,
jest
so
przerwa.
I guess
No.
Nefidi was either turning around for a flashbang or just looking at something else. It's not really clear.
I'm just surprised. Couldn't believe his eyes. This guy just walked through the smoke. What's he thinking? What's he doing?
It's just that he was so far up the ramp, right? He wasn't just at the edge. He was pretty deep in there, so a little bit surprised. Either way, 4 on 5. They had that ramp. They're going to start to fall back towards the B bomb side. But actually, Gambit are not that far away. They almost have 3 people here. This could be a bit rough for Entropic. They might be thinking, all right, we're going to be able to get something done, but the kill on Exile does become a bit more likely. Inter's back here with the AK, and he's way out in the open. See, this is the thing that I thought would be scary. Shiro close with the AWP. He takes down one of them, but Hobbit is going to be falling, and now it's all on Shiro. 1 versus 5, and he's going to get shot in the back by Krad, so doesn't get to fold that AWP all the way into the round, unfortunately. That would have been really cool to see. All right.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful what happens, Anders, when you don't die with the bomb on the bomb site. It means that you can actually rotate around. You don't have to overcommit. You can just kind of get around and have some maneuverability on the map instead of having to just run headfirst into a wall.
It's kind of a little bit disappointing, that defense over at the B bomb site, because
Oglądamy dalej,
two
widzowie.
people there, almost a third in Shiro that could have rotated in, but none of them can help each other out. They just all kind of get dinked immediately, and there's no real setup. And I guess the only thing you could say is they didn't know that hit was coming. There was no one checking the A ramp because they'd lost that control basically. So I guess that's why they weren't playing. But if they had known, if they'd had a second or two more to realize, I think they could have fallen back and just played it defensively with 3 people there. That would have been really efficient. So yeah, I guess credit to Entropic as well for just hitting those shots, because if they don't do that, I think Gambit, they just probably win that round right away. Now what? Is there a Cregan play on Krad? That's rare.
Trusts in his aim, dude. That one.
Zapraszam, oczywiście, zapraszam, ja nagrywam dzisiaj, zapraszam do was. Możecie być na odcinku.
7th round coming up. Still playing down the ramp with the M4. Shiro back here. Take a random shot. All right.
It's just that rate of fire for the Krieg, man. That's the thing. That's what makes it so painful to use. It's slower than hotel internet.
Impossible, isn't it? But, ooh, did it flip the cone? Did it land right? That's what I really need to know. I don't think it did. It looked like it was sideways. It's an art form that I care a lot about.
The cone flipping?
Cone flipping, yeah.
I wait. You know what?
To możesz sprawdzić.
I know what I'm gonna get you.
With a cone?
Yes.
So happy. Shiro gets one. He's still out close to the double. Oh, that is fantastic. They just kept throwing people at him. That's not how the AWP is meant to work. It's meant to be at long range. That's why they put a scope on top of it. You see, it's the range that makes the difference, but not of your Shiro. Man, the timing is so good for that. Again, the pressure is on in that moment. If you fail any one of those shots, you're so
No, jak coś to miał być dzisiaj
that must
Roblox.
feel so deflating.
Czekam na nim.
Yeah, we've got him. It's perfect. He's right here. Just run him down.
And then your spacing is just ever so slightly off, and against an opera of Shiro's quality, you can't afford to have those kinds of mistakes made.
But the tough thing is, in terms of the spacing, right, is everyone has to jump up. So there's like an automatic rate limiter for that moment. You actually can't keep, like it's hard to run everyone up there at the same time.
Second round that they've managed to win off a time here.
2 na czas granie, no to jest moim zdaniem złe granie. Miał być dzisiaj Roblox, ale no nie ma Robloxa.
But what an even game it is.
Macie za to mecz CS-owy.
Next guy to jump up, it's like it's just a second late. Maybe less than a second.
Dobry mecz.
4-3.
Obstawiam dobry mecz, nie wiem jak wy.
Lille on top.
Dajcie, nie oglądajcie, wyrzućcie mnie jak trzeba.
Way too early to call who's actually leading this game right now. But Entropic still seem like they have still that fire within them, you can tell. They are not actually
Lisek, to jestem ja.
worried at all about playing Gambit. They doesn't even be worried about playing anyone right now, which is cool.
I don't feel like they have any pressure on them whatsoever. I mean, they've already made
it.
They qualified for the challenger stage.
Yeah.
They made it through there. I mean, Entropic, you're in the top 16. You are actually in the major, competing in the major now. So already, it's got to be a huge success for the team and a fantastic feeling. I think that these guys, they should really just be focusing on having fun and on enjoying themselves because
Miał być Roblox dzisiaj, ale widzicie, no Roblox jeszcze nie działa, no to mam
Which they kind of do, but not in the way that you would have expected. I was thinking about a Molotov or anything, but I guess they didn't have one. So Hobbit's going to get the kill, but they still can't punish him. You can see Nafany's holding a smoke to try and put it out in case someone throws a Molotov, and they're probably wondering, why is there no Molotov coming? Now they run into Nafany and Shiro, and they're going to get wiped out here. Close call, almost taking the kill on.
No i 4-4.
Sorry, on Naki on the first one there. Brad will go down last. Exiles.
Man of taste.
Yeah.
Man of taste.
Are you for real?
Doesn't even give it a second thought, just looks away, just turns in disgust.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
How dare you use a Kree, stoop so low.
Terrible play. Get him out.
Get him out. Well, they're in the process right now.
They're trying, yes.
Wow, we haven't seen that strategy in a while, waiting until the last second before engaging the timeout to really maximize it.
Try and be annoying as possible, maybe.
Basically, yeah. Because then it goes, you know, from you having your 30 seconds to, 50 seconds and what, a minute 10? So between rounds, that's quite a bit of time to call. And the tactical timeouts are the only times, again, just to remind you all, this is the only time that a coach can interact with the team in any way. Otherwise, the coaches have to sit there and essentially just be mute. So, a chance now for Entropic to at least rally a little bit here, trying to figure out what's going wrong, apart from running into Shiro one at a time.
Yeah, Pucha could be...
Oh, and we have the update there for Liquid. What does that say?
8-7.
It's 8-7, and fighting back.
Down the
Terrific job.
Yeah,
Last time I checked, it was Liquid in the lead by a fair margin.
Did he close both the goals at the same time?
What a gentleman. Doesn't want the smell getting out, you know?
How does he do that? Were there two of them? Were they coordinating the door close? Did he do it on his own?
What is that barrel made of? That bucket.
Oh, Brad's gonna be found. Yeah, let's go back to Ilian. He's obviously
Co tam robią? Bawią się.
I just think that they completely
Gówno.
ruined those the day that they made it possible to see if somebody was inside. You know, remember that?
Nie wolno się bawić.
And then they had to make it, so that it would show up with a little red thing, as if the door was locked.
They should put one of them. They should bring. You're right. They should.
Nie wolno się
They
bawić.
should start put one on each bomb site.
Yeah.
Men.
Exactly. And it's easily wall banged, right? So if you wall bang it to check, it's there. But if you don't,
Exactly. Good shot. Lackey gets a kill. Gambit. I appreciate them not peeking too much here. I don't think there's no real value to be gained. We just keep getting deagle shot. This is a boost we've seen. Not too commonly, but definitely we know it from earlier. He had the right idea.
jeez, Shiro, chill. That was instant death.
Yeah, that's kind of synonymous with Shiro, isn't it?
So fast.
Instant death.
Nie wiem, może ktoś do Mendiego pójdzie i żeby rajda zrobił.
They're crazy. Gambit are looking good. They're looking dialed in here in this match. There was a little bit of a bump in the road at the beginning, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, they're slowly sort of just taking control back over the game, and they can keep building the money, keep just cementing this little lead that they've got going on. It's going to be fine. 5-4 right now. 10th round is coming up. We'll see, because they did take that tactical timeout in Tropic, so let's see what they can do. I will say this.
Nie wiem, ktoś może do Mendiego pójdzie i przekaże jemu.
So that's a good sign. That's something you can really build on. Flashes, again, Forrester trying to sneak through, but this time, Nafany not going to be surprised and catches him before he even got out of the smoke.
yeah, Nafany was ready this time. You're not going to pull that kind of shenanigan again. No more horseplay allowed on the A ramp.
Kurde, liczę na tych, na zielonych.
CT side, they're like, all right, 4 on 5. Now you can have the ramp. Hang around there if you want to.
Curious if they're going to be able to walk their way up here. I mean, they still have a decent nade count here in Tropic.
Aha, przerwało mecz.
Also also a big giveaway when you throw that many
Ale
nades
już
into the
wrócił
corner.
mecz, dobra.
They try and follow it up, but instantly Gambit will know, alright, triple nade in there, well, we can do the math pretty easily. Even if you can drop some on the ground, you can't throw all of them at the same time, so you can still figure it out.
Skanuj baranie.
Leanne on his own,
Dobrze.
he's going to get the one kill there. More would certainly be helpful, but yeah, it's just a guessing game. Try to pre-fire it as much as you can. Bomb is also committed to the site itself, so it's not like needing to be really sneaky and move away. Some fairly slow rounds, which again I think will just continue in the second half, right? That's kind of the style of some of these CIS teams. So
Indeed.
it's not too surprising. Hobbit with a good headshot and a 6-4 lead in favor of Gambit, and I feel like they're just slowly building the foundations of this game right now. This is what I'm expecting, and it's good.
Widzicie, wszystko nie tak jak trzeba.
Best jerseys.
Kolejna już runda.
But yeah, just they're looking like they're starting to hit their stride here, Gambit, and they have that constricting style of play that it's so
6-4 jest,
difficult
no.
for Entropic to catch them off guard. Look at this already. Each time you push out on ramp now, you got away with it once, but that's where it ends.
Chciałem, że Roblox, ale widocznie nie.
Kto
No.
powiedział, Beko 33 jedziesz dziś.
Yep, instant death.
Trying to follow it up, but he gets caught jumping. That's a shame. I mean, I still think it's worth it to show up with the deagles on this ramp because we've already seen it a couple of times. You can get some pretty crazy deagle headshots.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, kind of like that. So
You
can do some
summoned
damage.
one, Anders.
That's nice.
What are these powers? The ability to summon headshots.
If I had that,
Kurde, 7.
I'd be, you know.
7-4 przywalili już.
You'd be a coach.
Czerwoni lepsi.
All right, that's an angle you couldn't check. It's gonna be 7
Czerwoni lepsi.
Gambit, so moving in the right direction. In terms of kills right now, Forrester and Crad are doing a pretty good
Widać,
job.
że zorganizowani. Ci se 4 rundy ograli, jest dobrze, a ci już się podali, no.
But,
It's really cool to see this team come together, though. A lot of young players here. Hobbit has joined up, and he's really kind of shaped this roster into what it is today. But they really look like a team. They really look like a unit.
I feel like it was
Do Mendiego by ktoś poszedł i by się pytał, czy,
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I just
czy zrobi
time
rajda.
was too quick.
O, ładny strzał.
Said instant
Ślepy
death.
i
See on the
strzał.
screen.
Dobry.
Forrester, he's been trying to push this here. This is what the third time in a row now that he's
Ciągle
been shut
chodzą
down
po
two
ten
from
sam jeden punkt, to
Anthony,
tu bez
this time
sensu,
Shiro.
ciągle ładują B zamiast...
Tricky.
sorry, A. Ciągle ładują A, to widać, że oni ustawieni już wiedzą ich taktyki jak chodzą, zamiast zmienić taktykę to robią gówno.
Now it's gone the other way. Iliam will take down Nefany, that's good, but it's still 4-3, and they lost Lackey outside of the B bomb site to the second AWD. Exile.
No już dwóch nie żyje, a u nich 4 żyje, no to...
Again.
Dobry Mołotow.
There's some teamwork for you.
Dobry Mołotow i jeszcze dobry
That
ten.
it's thrown from the bomb site, yeah, because it actually isn't. There's no
Oh, jeez.
guarantee that anyone's back here. That's the problem, right? If you're on the Entropic side, sometimes Fuel will put out that smoke even if no one is there, but it kind of sells the idea that someone is there. So it's a huge mind game. From us, it's obvious, but
Tracą granatę,
from
aby
Gambit,
mogli
it's definitely also from
go
Entropic,
zabić.
it's not.
Wystarczy jeden granat i już gościa nie ma
Yeah,
za
they just, they can
skrzynkami.
maybe guess they've already thrown an HE at it as well. There's the kill
Oh,
off it. Finally, they know Crad with a headshot coming
Dobrze,
through. That's
Billy.
big on Inters. 30 seconds. And how?
Jest 2 na 2. Jest 2 na 2.
2 versus 2. Back, he's worried about it. He
Paka,
knows they might
dobrze,
move when the
pakę.
bomb is planted. It is going to be
Podłożą,
planted as well. No
dobrze,
wall bangs
dobrze.
through the box.
Pilnuję
And he's
paki
ducked down,
strasznie.
trying to minimize that model, but it's not enough, and he's going to be
Wyrwał.
going down. Exile with the kill. The
Dostał
double
1 na 2.
retake is coming into play, and now can they take down the AK? He had a chance there.
Jezu.
But he's out of bullets, picks up another one instead, I think, and now he's going to go for the spray. Shiro goes down on the other side. A
Oh,
huge
5-7.
triple and a huge 1 versus 2 clutch for Nickelback.
Golf clap on that one, gents. That was very nicely done. Big clutch round and very thorough stuff as well. Not getting caught by Hobbit, really taking your time, and so I like to see that sometimes from teams where they just decide we're going to hit this A site or we're going to hit this bomb site regardless of whether it's A.
Kurde, co tak ścina?
Slowly, meticulously going to work our way up onto it. This Steady CS.
O 20 się zaczyna mecz, tak.
Shiro and
Oh,
Natalie
yes.
are both at 12 kills, 12 and 5 both of them, so or 12-6, 12-5. So that's pretty impressive. They've been playing at the A ramp together, and I think that tells the story on its own about just how much they've been defending that.
Nie wiem, czy obejrzymy teraz Virtusów, popatrzcie jakie tu jest opóźnienie, 19:39 już jest, o 20 jest.
Not that 5 is necessarily that bad either, it's just... as much as you can get, because Gambit, I mean, it's going to be...
Yeah,
It's
Gambit
gonna
on
be
the
hard
T
no matter
side is
what.
no joke either.
Yeah.
So and this is still very much Gambit's playground, but that also speaks to the confidence for Entropic, willing to go into the belly of the beast. So
Under the Shiro takes down Lackey.
out of the way.
Yeah, but where is that flank coming in from Krad? If he wants to be a factor in this round, eventually he's going to have to show up. I don't think any longer it could be after the bomb plant, although that is a good kill on Hobbit. Maybe that could make the difference. It's
Macie
all
jeszcze
about
chwilę
timing.
czatu,
Third one of
będziecie
them
mieli,
running.
bo...
There is the second player, Axal's coming up, and he's kind of
Dobra,
looking for
wracamy
it
do
to win the
kolejnej
fight
ekran.
anyway. Krad, that is
Dobra.
massive now. They could go back if they want to, because he's controlling the middle of where he was. He goes down to Inters. Oh no! Now, what do? They were falling back, and now they actually probably wish they would have stayed.
Well, Gambit are currently wondering, is it going to be a B hit or not? Questioning whether or not they need to rotate off. Shiro still hanging out here on the site itself. Elian with that AWP, though, has got the angle. And now it's a question of whether or not they're going to have the time. They're cutting it very close. 13 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is getting planted. Have not been able... Yep, there it is. Gets the lineup. Follow-up shot. Gets the kill. 3 versus 1 now for Gambit.
Forrest, oh, Shiro again.
Brutal.
Yeah,
I was about to say, we haven't seen that wallbang happen too much on the plant if you're planting default, and then Shiro goes ahead and hits him twice.
And he would have had time to have jumped away, but the problem is that's maybe not even a good choice. He doesn't know if there's anyone else there. If he just runs to try and avoid the second wall, he's probably dead anyway. So
Nie wiem.
that's a tough position to be in. 8-5, 14th round is coming up. Shiro up to 15.
I'm glad to see that Shiro performs just as well here online as he does online. No worries there. He is shaping up into a monster, and just, man, he's so fast. He's so fast. 2 rounds left in the half, and vital that Entropic pick up the remaining 2. Gambit get into double digits in this first half. I think it's going to be hairy for Entropic going forward, so let's see what they're capable of here. So far, they've had success finding picks on this A ramp, and it's looking like they're gearing up for some shenanigans. Boost over the top.
There's a good little lineup, but the spray is through. Nafany picking up a double kill. He can't make it out. William will catch him. It's still favorable for Entropic. 2 versus 3 now. That's not at
Kiedy zobaczymy mecz Virtusów? Nie wiem.
a bit.
Bo będzie opóźniony mecz Virtusów.
They're going to be really starved for information soon. Inters at B, they're just spreading out. I thought maybe they would want to stay in
Nie, o 20 mamy działać.
play off
Dobra.
each other, but Lackey with a good headshot at range with the Galil. And Hobbit,
Hobbit, just hold on to this M4 for the next round.
yeah. Actually, they could probably revive anyway, right? Nafany and Inters.
Dodajcie chwilę.
But I guess he's so far away, and running into it alone is probably not worth it either. Maybe he could get the AWP over here. If that's possible, then that would also be cool.
That would be pretty nice. See, I mean, he's got time. He just doesn't know if there's a lurker out here who's just waiting, using those guns as bait. We'll see if Hobbit decides to be bold and go and get one of those guns, or if he just holds on to the M4. But still, this is terrific for Entropic. 6th round on the board. A little bit chaotic,
No,
but
widzisz, nie działa.
definitely getting in there, making life difficult, making life interesting.
I znowu bomba jest
Yeah,
z
you see that? I
terrorystów.
almost feel like if we could have the stats on the correlation between winning the fight at A ramp and winning the round is close to 100% right now, because that's just what's making the difference. Whenever Shiro or Nafany has been winning it,
To będzie długi
the round is
mecz.
done in their favor, and in the few times here where Entropic have managed to do it, it's been their round. It just makes such a big difference. Even if they trade somewhat evenly, just having that control is such a big difference. Well played. Entropic not surrendering quite so easily. It's gonna be the 15th round coming up. Yeah, credit to, or like, I guess good on Gambit for having just this deep of a bank. They could buy everything they want here. Probably did get the AK though. We're gonna try and
Same
do it.
thing again, yeah. It gives them so much to see, although
No,
you spot the
widać.
toes there?
I don't know if he can, but walking through the smoke on the other hand will give Nafany a huge advantage.
Interesting.
This also feels like just a scary boost if you do this much, because there must be a lot of different ways to punish that if you just get. I mean, even from that position that he was in, Nafany, he could probably just spray.
O, pięknie.
Wow. Shiro,
Filthy.
yeah, that's a shot. 3 versus 5 now, and again, you lose that A ramp. How do you get back? Out in the open, just the middle thing here, Hobbit. Kind of hard to check. You can see they're looking for the sandbags, and they're expecting him to be at the corner, either all the way left or right. But he's just standing in the middle of the lane. Double kill for him. Lackey now forced into it and already revealing his position. They're gonna know, and they're all gonna come for him. There's nothing you do.
He's stuck. Just, you know what? Yes, exactly. Deny them the stats. Just walk off the side.
He's gonna go down 9-6 in the first half in favor of Gambit. Again, say that's a pretty
9.
convincing first half, but at least Entropic did enough that they're still competitive.
Yes. Yes, 9-6. I mean, this is still workable. If Entropic were to win the pistol round and survive the following round, something that we've seen teams struggle with so far this tournament. They really do seem to struggle with winning the pistol and then not quite converting that second one. We will get to see if... well, we'll get to see. Actually, go ahead, Anders. I'm going to check something real quick.
Check it. Look up those stats.
Exactly. Now I'm curious. Like, what is the conversion rate on? What is the conversion rate on pistol rounds so far this tournament?
I feel like it's a lot, but 9-6 in that first half. Gambit, they're on track for a pretty good game here. 3-round lead. If they can win the pistol, they're gonna be ready to go. Moving towards the A ramp initially.
So, for example, G2 win 100% of their pistol rounds, and they only win 25% of the conversion. So, out of 4 pistol rounds, they've lost the second round 3 times. Okay.
Leon, headshot to take down Nafany there. It's a 4-on-5. It's a good start, the USPs. But now the Glocks are getting just a bit closer. Molotov up into the corner to try and burn for. But yeah, this is the problem though. You can get the Molotov in there, but it actually does nothing for you. They just run away, and now they're back. 3 people pushing forward. This is mental. Entropic just fighting them on the ramp, coming back for revenge. Krad with a double kill, and Axile 1 versus 5. I can't believe they came back after essentially surrendering the ramp, and they don't lose a single player in this round. What a great start to the second half for Entropic.
There we go. Showing that they've got what it takes. A little bit of a fist pump there from Hooch in the back. Definitely getting pumped. He can't show any reaction to the players. But I guess if he keeps it quiet back there, the players won't notice him. There you go. He can enjoy, he can get hyped himself.
Yeah, hype himself on those.
Exactly. That'll be fine.
That'll do it.
But really impressive right now, at least from both of these teams. And the question is whether or not now Gambit are going to make anything happen here, and they elect to go for the hard eco. I like this. I like this strategy. Go for the hard eco and then get the rifles nice and quick in the next round. You'll be able to get a full buy pretty much with AKs and nades. And you can just move on from there.
Yeah, they didn't get the bomb plan right, so yeah. Some people do buy the Tech 9s or whatever, Eagles. I
They
kind
go
of
for the G-Force and then...
Yeah. It's a little bit split what people actually try to do. It's fun that there are different ways of going about it. Gambit, I'm probably hoping that there's going to be a big mistake here for Entropic, that someone pushes down with a greedy M4 or an MP9 or something. It doesn't seem like that's going to be happening right now. So just a bit of... a waiting game to set it up. They finally decide to swing for it. And they're really trying to maximize every single challenge that they have. Like, we wait long enough, maybe they make a mistake. Are they going to get bored? Okay, let's all try and peek at this. Like, it's just every little thing. It doesn't matter how little they get out of it. They're just going to keep trying to do that. And is it going to actually work? Krad is pushed forward. Yeah, they're going to come back for a swing. You can see the idea behind it. It doesn't work out in their favor, but they are really just trying to optimize every single... position.
Wow. And I'm being told that Liquid won 16-8 against Ents on Dust 2.
Good job.
So good rally there from Liquid. Not fully capitulating just yet, but also a little concerning for Ents.
Yeah.
Very curious to see if they're going to be able to rally going forward, because that is not a good start to the stage for them.
I've got Liquid moving forward.
You do, yeah. No, and I've got Liquid 2 moving forward. I'm just, it's just Ents is such a hard read because they've got so much firepower. It seems like they're on the up and up.
Yeah. Guess we'll have to see if they can mentally recover. 9-8, and in the 18th round, boom, that is the same boost that they were trying to do, and it just they land the nade right at their feet. That's pretty devastating.
That's one way to punish it.
Yeah, it is.
Tropic just letting them know that that is our boost. You don't get to use our boost.
Crossfire at the B stairwell too, and they still have someone in the middle. So kind of impressive. They're kind of all over the place. They're holding this ramp though with an M4A1 and an MP9. It doesn't seem like it should be that powerful. It seems like a kind of fight that Gambit with the AK should be able to take, but they're still shrinking away from it. Nafani's already gone down. Killed by Crad. You go back and see it, but again, that's the crossfire I was talking about earlier. Lackey on the one side. Ooh, he's a little bit early on it, and it swings in to die. That is a problem. They're so careful not to make mistakes. Ilian shows up with a double, and that will end the round here. Orbit can no longer win it, so you can sell out in every moment. It's almost like they have the ability to pause in every sort of microsecond and say, what's the best play right now? Can we slow this down? Can we make sure we're rethinking this as much as possible? It is just a very different, much slower version of Counter-Strike, but you can tell what's happening if you... It's almost like we should be able to slow it down, too. Like, pause the game every once in a while.
Sure, right? And in their minds, I mean, well, in their minds, they've got just so much information that they're processing and that they've practiced and that they're watching for, the tells, that just... Not even... It's their analysts that are getting back to them, right? Reviewing...
Yeah, na chwilę chyba
data
przerwę
and
zrobimy.
saying, these are the things that you need to be looking out for right now on this map that they might try. But not only that, then you gotta see, okay, but this is what we showed in the first
Ja
half,
będę
like
mówił
the
na
boost
razie,
that we
jak
just
to
saw from
jest.
Gambit and the punish from Entropic. You're just gonna throw a few
Nie
plays
jest
out
już.
there, and it may work. They're looking very confident. This is the thing, though, always with the underdog in the same region, is that Entropic will have studied Gambit out and out. They will know how Gambit want to play this map.
Yeah. Oh, sure. They have plenty of footage to go off of. Forrester getting the kill on Hoppy right then and there. Nade, that one's going to be pretty decent. Well, they actually got the kill before the nade landed. That's cool. But Axel sneaking around on the other side. No bomb. Yeah, this is so cool. Tropic are about to take the lead. They're going to be up 10-9. That's a bit of a shocking turn of events. Crad with 17 kills. He's not even necessarily the player that I would have picked to lead the charge, but here we go.
He's doing terrific work right now. 10-9 rounds right now for Entropic, and yeah, you're right. I mean, at least in the first map of this,
Wracamy do meczu.
first map of this series, it felt like it was
Jest
Lackey
10.
was doing a lot of work for Entropic.
Yeah.
But Alien wasn't too far behind in the first map, so both of them are just kind of popping off right now. And I mean, it just goes to show just how deep the talent goes in the CIS region. But this is the future of CS as far as I'm concerned, because the cost of...
Coś jest nie tak, widzisz. No kurde, ciot. Nie wiem, czy Virtusów nagramy, czy...
CIS region compared to what you can make in Counter-Strike right now, that these guys can fully commit to Counter-Strike and just go non-stop. Whereas it's harder to do that, right, as an up-and-coming.
Przecież rund jeszcze. Do 16 grają.
In the tier 2 scene in the European side of things, because cost of living is higher, so you need to make more money. So it's very... off on this side, whereas, you know, CIS region, it just goes so deep. You can fully commit, and there's so much experience over there. I mean, you know, like...
Ktoś już kurde no nie działa, no.
By the desk, you know, Hooch has been around forever.
Yeah.
The amount of experience in that guy is insane. And so for...
Poczekajcie. No, to już mi idę widocznie.
To solve that ramp problem, because otherwise everything they do will be telegraphed really far away. This time they're going to try to ignore the A ramp and just set up for the B bomb side here with a little bit of a boost. I'm not actually sure.
Maybe he was holding the bomb. I didn't notice if he was holding the bomb or not, if that's what slowed everything up. They had to come back.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of play. Sometimes something goes wrong, and that's just going to be the end of it, right? You're going to lose that point, lose that round.
Yeah. And Tropic, I mean, again, I feel like they, regardless of everything else, I feel like they still had this, they had a good read on it, right? Because Krad is pushed that far down, those B players are going to be informed beforehand. They're going to be told beforehand, well, listen, we kind of knew what was coming.
Well, this is the other team. This is Tropic. What's going on with Gambit?
Probably not too happy at the moment, I have to assume, but yeah.
Oh, okay, monitor died. Gotcha.
Or whole PC, I think he's...
Are we getting a whole switch out here?
It
Hit crew
well
is in action. Alright, that's going to put us on a little bit of a delay.
Presumably, yes. Or maybe it is just the most. They're on it, hard-working admins, trying to do everything as fast as they can.
And the other thing is here worth mentioning. Hooch is doing some talking right now. But Tech Paw is normally not allowed to communicate whatsoever. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which is like, do not talk.
Stop baiting me into it.
Do not talk, because in a tactical timeout, you can communicate. You can communicate with your coach. Technical timeout, when something goes wrong, PC, connection, whatever, mic, you're not allowed to
Coś
talk. Because
kreatywnego
obviously that's
powiedział.
been used in the past by players, where they would call technical timeouts. Before tactical timeouts were a thing, they would just call technical timeouts instead and say like, oh, we have a TeamSpeak issue, so that they could have a timeout to talk something over, and then obviously that TeamSpeak issue would go away magically, and you'd be back in the game. So when we caught on to that, it's just like, well, why don't we just actually grant you tactical timeouts so you don't need to do that anymore?
Yeah, I think that's important, right? To have a chance. Sometimes that, you know, we've seen some teams make incredible use of it, so
Oh yeah,
it's good. 4 people
although
left.
it's worth mentioning that you can chain timeouts together if you want to really have a long one.
Yeah, that's so rare, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Actually do that, so it's probably not much of a loss.
Yeah.
For anyone to want to do that. But yeah, hopefully we can get them back in the server right away, so we can continue with the madness here. I still think the number one problem that they haven't really solved yet, Gambit, weirdly on the T side, is that ramp. They're not winning that A ramp fight on any level, and the only other thing that I can think of, if you want to do was go with 3 people middle or something like that. Then maybe you can ignore them, but you have to do it pretty early on, because you know, if you do that, then they're busy fighting. They're busy doing their whole grenade routine that I was just talking about. They're throwing the nades, they're throwing the smokes over there, and then while you're doing that, you could probably isolate something like a 3-on-1 fight in the middle. So that's the only other thing that I can really think of that you can set up with maybe some success, but I would expect for Gambit to have some idea about how to win that ramp fight, and right now they've been shut down in a big way. That's a little bit surprising to me. It's only a 2-round lead as well, so I guess we shouldn't be too panicked about it, but it's just the fact that Gambit, again, did have a pretty good first half.
It's when you're challenged, you tend to fall back into habits, and if you fall back into habits, a team like Entropic will have done their homework and they'll know how to punish those habits. So Gambit, it's again that game within the game where Gambit are having to change up on the fly how they may be handling that A ramp, and maybe they just haven't found the solution yet, like what they need to change so that they can stop getting countered. Because, like you said, right, they go immediately for the boost and they immediately eat an HE, and it does seem like they haven't quite found a way to deal with that just yet. So all the players are just going to be kind of sitting here, stewing. Actually, pretty terrible. Yeah, that face says it all right now. That face says it all because I think if you're Entropic, you just want you had some good momentum going your way there. So you just want to stay focused and get back into this game and not let Gambit have any time to breathe. Because now Gambit are the ones who are kind of getting to sit and regroup, refocus.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's
kreatywnego.
definitely frustrating, right? And it's an experience that, I mean, even that comes with having played a lot.
No widzicie, komputer się zepsuł i teraz mi przerwali mecza, o 20 ma być inny mecz, no i...
Yeah, take a moment, disconnect them from the whole thing, and then hopefully we can have the fifth player back on the server once again. We can continue the game here. What else? We've obviously got Astralis going to be playing NIP coming up a little bit later on here on this particular channel. What was the other game that we had?
Odpowiedź do coś kreatywnego. Wiktor, odpowiedź do coś kreatywnego. Wiktor, odpowiedź do coś kreatywnego. Wiktor, odpowiedź do coś kreatywnego.
Vitality. I guess we'll find out. But those are all going to be really, really interesting games. I'm actually so curious to see how Heroic are going to be doing now.
I think we'll have Navi VP after this.
All right.
Yeah, we will have Navi VP after this.
Excellent.
So that'll be sick. Navi VP followed by Nip Astralis. I mean, these are banger matches.
Yes. They've got that. Some of them still have that like keyboard that's all the way to the side, in spite of the fact that they can't really have played at lands where desk space was that's kind of the origin of it.
Yeah.
I feel like all of these guys are so young.
Już powinien być mecz tych Virtusów.
That you have to go full Quake player where you put the keyboard in your lap just so you can have all of
Już powinien być mecz Virtusów.
Yeah, just sit diagonally, have the monitor at a diagonal, have everybody sit diagonally to your desk, and you just have the whole desk for your arm. That's basically it, just for the mouse and the mouse pad. And then better yet, then you go the next step, Anders, where to make your mouse lighter. Now, sure, you have the perforated mice now that are really light. That are the PC Gaming Master Race. That mouse is pretty sick, Model D. But you remember when they used to chop the bodies off of their mice?
Yeah.
Just to shave weight, just to cut the weight down as much as possible. You'd cut the case off of your mouse, so it was just the little clickers, and that's it.
Try and follow it all out.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
I can't remember who was doing that. Was it Rafa? No, I can't remember if it was Rafa or yeah. But yeah, that was the thing.
Well, we have desk space now, so turn your keyboards back around. I guess if you're used to playing with it, it doesn't really matter keyboard. I can't imagine doing that myself. I have to be honest.
You haven't tried that? I was doing it for a while.
No, maybe I should. Maybe that's what I've been missing all these years.
You know why? It's because it was like that, and then you also had the numpad, right?
Już
and then Existence used to buy with his numpad, and so I was like, I want to be like Existence, and so I was just buying my numpad too, and I learned that. See, there you go, man.
Yeah, what I really want is the old buy menu back, where it's just numbers and no like a weird buy wheel.
That's it,
whatever.
exactly. Just know the numbers, and then you can buy. You just buy instantly. All this clickety click stuff. Get out of here. Get out of here. Reject modernity.
Yeah, everyone's looking a bit frustrated at the moment. I can't really blame them. Again, Entropic, just as much victims of this, I suppose, as Gambit are. They're just going to have to... They're going to wait it out. If there's a whole PC being switched out, then I guess there's no way around it.
Interesting.
Entirely
so we can confirm it's a new PC that's being modeled. Which makes me wonder, I mean, what are you doing to Counter-Strike that blows up a PC? How is that even a thing?
There are ways to have to.
Yeah, then don't do those ways. Like, don't do those things, you know? Like, if it's a risk that you can blow up your PC running Counter-Strike, like, maybe you shouldn't be doing those things.
Just turn everything to maximum.
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Put no cooler paste at all on his CPU.
Then you're just living life dangerously. Then you just want to burn your apartment down. Fair enough. You want to go for that.
Man, I look forward to seeing some of these best of threes that are coming up now that we're at the Legend state as well. Because the best of ones I think of is almost just like a sort of seeding mechanism. You're going to be playing a best of three no matter what, whether you exit or move forward. I think the best of threes in this stage of the major are going to be really, really wild. And for a team like Gambit, I mean, they are strong on so many maps. So that's where the real fun begins. I think that was true for the challenger stage as well. Best of ones were cool and all that, but best of threes they hit differently.
Oh, they do. And against with teams like these, where they have depth of pool, it's going to be crazy.
Word of warning, they're all putting their heads up. Don't be messing around with those hand warmers so much, guys, because there's this powder, black powder inside of it. If you rip them open, we're gonna have another long tech timeout. Because just leave those alone. We've seen it before. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's 5 in a row for Entropic in the beginning of the second half, and they're looking good right now. Apologize for the tech timeout, of course, but hopefully we can make up some time now. It's 9-11 as a scoreline. Moving into the 21st round. Everyone's back on the server.
And a tactical timeout getting called by Gambit coming out of that tech timeout. I like it. Take a look.
Ja dla was też sprawdzę, czy Roblox działa akurat. Będziecie wiedzieć.
Extra frustrating for a job. Do you think we're back?
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Just refresh. Make sure that you guys are on the same page. You don't have to rush over. Because, I mean, you're right. Thank you very much for showing us that. I mean, this is a streak on Entropic's side. I mean, Gambit on the T side now need to start breaking that. They let Entropic keep running away with it.
No i taka końcówka, no widzicie, no. Już powinien być mecz tych Virtusów. Tylko się zgrzewają.
Okay, Crad.
He's been doing this so much, and again, kind of unpunished. Finds the one way, that is so good. Oh, that is a close flick, but he's going to be able to start to fall back. And again, it's another challenge at the ramp that's been won by Entropic.
Poszedł, nie?
That's so crazy, because in the first half, sure, Gambit wanted more than Entropic did, but they still had their rounds where they were able to pick it up, and that just makes such a big difference. Shiro, he had the right idea, guessing that he could shoot over. Oh, it's so close, but he can't see it. And Crad has now moved back into position. He's got a huge one-way here, but Hobbit almost staring at his feet, almost able to pick him up. Going to be re-smoking this position, and here comes the follow-up flash that I was talking about, the one that they popped to the corner. Hobbit, he'll win the fight though. That's huge.
Nóżki.
In there?
I don't know.
Did he just pop up on the map? That's the other thing, though. He may have just popped up on the radar.
It's possible. This is some incredibly nerdy Counter-Strike. You can kind of tell how they're trying to optimize. They're essentially playing to optimize the vision around a tiny little corner of the map where there's a smoke at the corner, and they're like, who can look at it? Who can maybe see? Can I see some boots in here? It's just really insane.
No mind.
Forrester, nope, there isn't. And how long before they check? I mean, he can either wait or he can just try and swing against them. They're coming in from every angle. That's a good kill. That's a great follow-up headshot to take down Inters, and that's going to shut down the round.
Terroryści nie sprawdzają w
Really
ogóle.
come get him. His teammates are showing up. The bomb is committed again. Shiro, maybe you could find a way to shoot through. Forrest, yeah, I was going to say, it's not even worth it. There's the rescue mission. And Nickelback will take down Shiro as well. It's 12-9, and it is looking really impressive for a Tropic.
That says it all in the back there.
Yeah.
Oh, but a single Molotov changes everything for Gambit in that round. If they can just clear that position, just a single Molotov, a couple of HEs, anything. Just dry peeking it, that was not the answer. As soon as Forrester gets those 2 kills, that's it. The round is essentially done. But also just buying so much time on the A ramp. You gotta give it to them. They are dialed in right now in Tropic. Really well done. Nice little rush here in mid though. But Nickelback.
That's pretty impressive. He's just clicking them as they're running across the screen. It looked like it was so smooth.
They're just running right into his crosshair.
The problem is, they're on the site, but the bomb only made its way there for a second. So yeah, they're gonna get a couple of kills. If they would have had the bomb there right away, maybe they could have had a bomb plant. I don't think it would have actually won them the round, but could have put some pressure at the very least on Entropic. This is such a curious change of off pace. I said at the beginning, I would have bet a lot that Gambit would have walked away with this victory. Right now, that's looking way less likely. The CT side is an absolute lockdown. And again, they're playing some absolute. There's really free.
Ja was zapraszam oczywiście na czat online.
Impossible to take, it feels like.
Yeah, we have the deep push with the AWP in the mid as well. So had there been any kind of show there from Gambit, could still work. I really like how Entropic are just massively pressuring this whole spot on ramp, not letting Gambit get comfortable at all. Pretty sure he heard that. Yep, pretty sure Lackey would have heard that drop. So he knows that somebody's outside of B, and there's the shot coming through.
Ładnie. Ładny strzał.
He was also pre-aiming it in case they wanted to go for that boost that we saw in the first half. 5. They've given up on the A ramp entirely. They just don't even care anymore. Just you guys can have that. It's fine. We didn't really want it to begin with. Nickelback will go down. So 4-on-3. Now.
Ej, tylko jeden
Crad is currently
skin.
checking the A ramp.
Trzech
He
terrorystów.
doesn't see anyone here. Yeah, they're gonna start to rotate people back to middle. That's the luxury of doing. That's why the T side needs to win that fight eventually. Lackey is just here, and I think he's already seen them. Yeah, that's why Alien is just. He saw just the backpack showing, so he calls it into his AWP inside the bomb site, and they're probably boosting. Good information, good team play.
Yep, and
Kurde, runda lepsza.
thank you very much. Put that backpack on their chest.
Runda będzie dla 14-9
No, it's on
będzie.
their chest, it just pushes out the other way.
Yeah, but then at least you have, it's like, it's not poking around a corner where you can get spotted, and you can't shoot the backpack, so you can't kill him when they show that.
Realism. Could have been a beautiful double spray. Shiro, he's gonna go down anyway. They are.
Dostał info gdzie, dobry strzał, 14.
In this second half, it's 14-9.
14-9.
14-9, and they are just completely running away.
20-11.
This was a 9-6 finish, was it not, for Gambit? And now we're looking at a 14, I mean, just a perfect lockdown coming in on the CT side for Entropic. Gambit completely at a loss, and really making me wonder just how much this
Bo jeszcze musimy ten tusy muszą grać.
through their focus, because that was
Tusy
right in the middle
zaczną
of them
opóźnieniem.
taking a beating, and it just kind of extended it out. Another the last tactical timeout getting called here by Gambit now. This is, I mean, this would be the upset of the major so far, wouldn't it? I mean, apart from Copenhagen Flames, I guess.
Yeah, we've got. I mean, but I think Entropic and Copenhagen Flames are kind of, battling it out to try and see who can bring down the most top teams. It's really fun. It's, in itself a pretty good pick right there. But yeah, this read.
What's great is it just makes it difficult. It makes it so you can't take any of these matches for granted. Like you really in these rounds here, you just can't underestimate any of these teams.
No i nie muszę nikomu Robuxów kupować, jak ja się cieszę, że to jest dobry typ.
Not yet showing us anything on the T side. Again, it's just the same smokes over and over again here at the ramp. They are playing it slightly differently, behind the smokes. Some of the times Crad is down there fighting, other times they just try and grenade it away. A little bit of aggression over here at the B bomb site, but a good spray down from Lackey. He's going to trade 2 for 1. Shiro will take him down and setting up a smoke. They're not sure how many people are behind there. Crad is pushing forward again. He is just everywhere. He's played such a terrific game. 21 kills on him. And they're trying to see if they can make it across, but the AWP has trained him. Ilian, he's been really quick himself. He nearly got that kill. Shiro down to 2 health. He is a nade away from death, and Nickelback's got one, so just a question of time, surely. Shiro trying to move forward, but he's going to get caught, and now Nefani on his own. Nothing that he could do. Crad showing up to get the kill. Everyone was fighting for it. It's 15
No.
And
No, Robuxów nikomu nie kupię.
Match point for Entropic against Gambit.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
And yeah, they just look completely stunned right now. Gambit, I mean, is this real life? How is this happening? You're not winning a single round on T-side Vertigo? I mean, this is their map. Yeah, here we are. I mean, there's a good reason, it looks like, why Entropic wanted to pick on this map. And they get to play it twice. I mean, they beat Liquid on it earlier.
Incredible work. Gambit have the round loss bonus going for them, and really not much else. Tough times. Yeah, you see that they're just nading for that boost. They're so sure that that's how they could get back. Some tabs coming in as well. Nafani, there's the 3rd nade to bring him down.
Amazing right now. This is so good. On the CT side, Entropic just looked like they're in complete control. Hobbit trying to force the matter, trying to do something, but he eats a flash and gets gunned down. Oh. This is over.
It is definitely done. I feel
Wyciągnął.
like they must have an office somewhere in Tropic where they just have like a giant wall of a flowchart around how to play this this ramp position. It's just so overpowering. Doing it all.
Yeah, they clearly look very comfortable, and it doesn't really feel like Gambit are able to surprise them in any way, which it just feels like, okay, now this is going to be the real challenge, whether or not Gambit are able to reinvent themselves on this map, or if they just pack it up.
I feel like if they were to replay this right now, a second game on there's no way they win the ramp again like that. It's hard to explain, but I guess sometimes you can just hit that state. Crad had, if you had to sort of divvy it up in percentages, how much of this win is Krad's over at the ramp, it's almost half of it, I think.
Yeah,
And he's just one player on the team, but I feel like he pretty much won half of this second half on his own, just playing that position. It's so wild. Axile is here, 1 versus 4. He has the bomb in hand, but 19 seconds, there's nothing he could do. They're already rotating over. Again, Krad is aggressively peeking at the ramp. He's already pushing down, so he's going to be flanking. They know what's coming. It's going to be 16-9 as they pick up the win against Gambit on Vertigo. What an absolutely stunning upset from Entropic.
And it just looks so casual. It looks like they just knew that it was inevitable. That was the result that was going to happen. They look just so chill about the whole thing, and that is them moving on into winner matches now.
Yeah, they're going to be playing best of 3.
That's amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable work from them. I've got to say, again, definitely the ramp was a problem for Entropic as well, but nothing like what we saw when Krad was on that CT side. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's worth going back to studying because, again, the smokes that they keep throwing, how they're playing close to the smokes, how they had the follow-up HEs. They had, even though it was kind of, it looked on the surface level like it was the same ramp fight over and over, it wasn't. It was very, very different from the CT side in Tropic. They had such a deep pool for how to throw those nades. Unbelievable.
Yeah, terrific stuff, and that's really just that underdog match. They know, both teams know each other so well, and Entropic clearly had a really good idea of how they wanted to take Gambit on this. They got to determine which map it was going to be, and so they were clearly ready for it. Congratulations to them, man. Well-deserved victories. And we are not going to be able to underestimate them going forward.
No, maybe we all did. Really cool stuff. We've got the desk ready with a little bit of a breakdown.
Yes, well, thanks a lot, guys. There's a cat among the pigeons. Not what we expected at all. But as we've been saying over the course of this event so far, Entropic are legit. And Gambit have found it out the hard way. But let's just start by talking about what an achievement it is. They become only the 4th team this year, I think, to beat them on Vertigo. And when you consider some of those defeats are like 16-14s against Heroic and the likes of that, it's unbelievable. I mean, you know, usually that is a map that Gambit just roll over teams against, and it's happened to them this time.
It's literally only the best teams in the world that they've lost to. They've lost to Virtus Pro, Heroic, Vitality, and these are during periods when these teams are really strong. And as you say, it's typically very, very close when it happens, or that team's having like the tournament run of their lives. So the record, if you don't realise, this is how you know Entropic. I agree with Jakob. They didn't have much to go with in the veto. They kind of had to play the map, but they've come straight in the Lion's Den here and really shown something, because the guys from Gambit were 30-4, taking out those silly tiebreakers only ESL cares about, on this map in 2021. So it's an enormous sample size, and they've done work against everyone. Like I said, the CIS region typically at the moment just permabans this map, so you don't have to play Gambit on it. So when you go against Gambit on this map, they have the whole package typically. On the CT side, Shiro is the definition of an AWP, like you see here, who's going to hold his angle, kill everyone that comes in on CT side. On the T side, you've got Hobbit and Axel. He's supposed to be able to work both sides of this map. And actually, I thought it was very impressive Entropic stayed in it in the first half. And then the second half, they pulled away. I mean, that one play by Forrester there pretty much broke the game.
Yeah, Janka, what do you think the turning point was? Because Gambit started out well enough, and then the game just seemed to get away from them.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I mean, props to Entropic. Is a massive upset, especially considering the map, as Duncan pointed out. You know, Gambit loses the pistol. You know, even 3-0 down, they still end up with a 9-6 first half.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, yeah, that's fine. They lose the second pistol as well. All right, that's okay. It's Gambit on Vertigo. They'll still find a way to make it work, but it was just the default plays they were going for. We're talking about Nafani and Rap couldn't really find openings. He was getting shut down. We saw a couple of plays that they have towards the B bombs, and that really wasn't working. You know, it's just Entropic gets one extra kill maybe than they're supposed to. The trade doesn't happen, and that puts Gambit into, you know, 2v4s, 2v3s, difficult situations really that they just, in this game, the individuals couldn't pull them out of.
You asked, you know, is it just a one-man team? Is it just Elliot? I have to say, by the way, he basically every game, if this is like an off game for him, he's going to be one of the best players in the world. I mean, look what he's doing on LAN already. Meanwhile, you look at some of the other up-and-coming Russian players, Spirit, for example, being obvious one, they're going home, mate. They're not in the tournament anymore. It absolutely wasn't. Like, Crad had basically the game of his young career thus far.
Yeah.
Basically, it was a team effort across the board.
Yeah, you read my mind there. I mean, I was going to talk a little bit about Elian. You know, look, again, I always keep it real. A lot of people were questioning his legitimacy, like a lot of young players have come through in the online era. It's a crucible. Our community always puts young talent through. Robs will tell you all about that. But, you know, what better way to prove those doubters wrong? And not just prove them wrong, I think he's actually been better under these conditions than he has in the online era.
Yeah, I think it was obvious that he was the next man up, so to speak, looking at the Tier 2, Tier 3 scene and his results against that level of opposition. I think the disappointment comes a little bit from his performance and Entropics at Pro League, because that was the first time they get to play these Tier 1 teams, and they had some very, very close losses, which I think hindered them a bit, hindered their confidence perhaps, but boy did they come back stronger, and Alien too in the challenger stage, and now here as well getting it done with the rest of his team.
So they're 2-0. I mean, job isn't done yet by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to get 3 bites of the cherry to, you know, seal the deal and go to the Avicii Arena.
Hey man, one of the 2-0 teams is G2. They could face them, and G2's weakness has been vertical lately. So already talking about best of threes and whatnot, you know, it's possible, and there's still a lot of CS to be played.
Do you think they can do it?
I think they can do it against a team like that, really, you know, like they seem to be riding that momentum. They seem to have a lot of confidence right now, and it's definitely possible. If you can take down Gambit on vertical, then anything is possible.
Yes. Yeah. And for Gambit, obviously, they find themselves in this weird spot. Started immaculately. You know, they were so good at the start of the day, 16-7 against Ents, supposedly dangerous opponent that they just handled. Here, it's been done to them. And I know what's already happening. I don't need to look at social media to know those players are being wrecked, they're being called onliners, they're being told they're not going to do it. Is this pressure going to get to them, or do you still think they'll calm down and be able to do a workmanlike job to get through to the next stage?
I mean, the key for me is just you have always those best of threes waiting for you. When you get into the best of threes, look, on paper you're supposed to win this best of one, but it's really hard to beat Gambit in a best of three. I mean, just ask Simple. He was giving us some of the best performances ever this year, and sometimes not winning the series.
I'll tell you this as well. Every time we were doing, you know, talking to Hobbit after wins and tournament wins, he was always praising the coach, the analysts, and so on for the preparation. Obviously, they didn't have much time to prepare for this series, only knew the opponents a couple of hours before, and they probably fell into that trap. Oh, we play them so often, we know what map probably is going to be, we know how they play, and perhaps in the meantime, Entropic just switched their game a little bit, you know, maybe caught Gambit a little bit off guard. I just think also individually they were better in this particular instance, and I do have full faith in Gambit. They'll still play in the arena, and then when it comes to the best of threes, they'll be a much better team.
All right, well, we'll see if you're right, obviously, in the coming days. For now, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to let the action from the Legend stage continue, so make sure you join us.
Coming up next, Navi versus Virtus Pro.
11 minut. O, kurczę. Jedenaście minut przerwy. Jedenaście minut przerwy, dobra. Czemu do mnie na live? Czemu do mnie na live? Czemu do mnie na live nie przychodzicie?
Gdzie na live'a?
No do mnie. No dałem wam.
Panie, a ty grasz pewnie w TS-a, jak
Nie,
zgadnę.
oglądam Virtus Pro jak gra z tymi. Całe mecze oglądam na żywo.
My to mamy ważniejszy konwój.
A to spadaj.
Lecimy.
Znaczy, kurwa, konwój. To spadaj. 6 minut i wracamy do was. Czy 5 minut i wracamy widzowie. Czy 5 minut jest przerwy przed streamem. Ostatni stream będzie. Ostatni będzie. Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro. Co to tam gra? Jak będą już młodziaki, no to nie ma co im kibicować. No wiadomo, że przydają. To wiadomo, że przegrają. To wiadomo, że przegrają. Stało 5 minut. 4. Dobra.
Welcome back to the PGL Major Stockholm 2021. I'm your host, Richard Lewis. Joining me on the desk, Duncan Thorin Shields, Yanko, staying with me through the night. And we've got ourselves an incredible tie. One, by the way, steeped in history. Ideal for both of you guys. Na'Vi versus Virtus Pro. We've already had a look at Na'Vi early today. Very good, solid win on Ancient against Heroic. And obviously, this is meant to be their major. That's the narrative. But now they're going up against the Grinders, a team that just continue to sort of defy expectations. Not in an entertaining way by any stretch of the imagination, but they do win games. Set the scene.
I mean, as you said, like if you want to just go stylistically, you can make a great case for this match because Na'Vi's the team that famously, even when they win, have a lot of trouble closing out games, actually. Meanwhile, VP is the team that just seemingly can't be put away. They just extend games forever. The only problem I have with this particular matchup is, you go back in time 6 months, this would be an amazing matchup, could be really interesting. In the BO1, though, the good news, if you're the guys from VP, is your permaban is nuke. At the moment, Na'Vi is on an unbelievable win streak on that map. The bad news is, you are going to have to go ahead and ban Vertigo, your permaban. You are going to have to get Ancient out of there. So the map veto is going to be heavily in the favour of Na'Vi. And Na'Vi can basically choose where this matchup takes place. And at the moment, VP, especially betting in this new player, they don't have the same map pool they used to have.
Yeah, and also the interesting thing is looking up the previous matchup for these two teams, considering how many CIS, you know, RMRs we've had. They only played each other once.
Yes.
They only played each other once. Before that, you know, DreamHack Masters, IM Katowice, that sort of a thing. So and Na'Vi absolutely has the upper hand, being 3-0 up in some of those matchups. And yeah, I think for this tournament, especially considering the game against Heroic for Na'Vi, that's a tough opening game, right? Sure. And Ancient, they started off good on the CT side. Heroic makes a mini comeback, and Na'Vi actually has a very strong T side of Ancient to close it out. That gives you a lot of confidence. You know very well before, Na'Vi was notorious for these slow starts to tournaments and so on, but that's behind us. Now Na'Vi is like kicking off in the high gear.
Yeah, but VP already with a legitimate win under their belt today over Vitality. You know, the scoreline's a lot closer because they just kept giving rounds away right at the end.
As is their way.
Yeah, exactly, that they didn't need to. But they did close it out, and it's got to be said, you know, some very good individual levels of performance. I mean, we're talking about stars here at the major. Yakindar is just ridiculous. I mean, what he's doing at the moment it's insane.
I mean, he's the guy where you have to... I always say to people, they don't actually know how to use the stats part of HLTV.org because basically, unless you use those filters and pick top 30, top 20, top 10, you're doing it against every person in the database. Even if you leave it against all, Yakindar breaks the impact rating. He is basically... it's to maximum to the right it can possibly be, which implies if that is at all an advanced stat, he is one of the most impactful players in the world.
You want me to blow your mind now?
Come on.
You know the filter on top that you said for HLTV? That's not opposition. That's when your team was in top 10, top 20, top 30. And then there's a thing at the bottom. I didn't know this until recently. There's a thing at the bottom that's actually against top 10, top 20, top 30. So a bit counterintuitive, but the points still stand. And it's true, he, in the rifle position, definitely in terms of an aggressive player and whatnot. And the fact that he's playing the best teams in the world, like when he's having a good game, there's very little you can do about it. And the problem for VP is they are very much reliant on him succeeding in those opening fights, and that's for me the biggest point of frustration when it comes to VP, right? That's fine for that to be the main focus on your game, but you need to have fallback options if he's having a poor game, if he's being shut down by the other team, because too many times we just see VP concede rounds, 3v4, 3v5, a minute on the clock. Let's just say play for the next round. Like there's a point to be said about, yeah, you give yourself a better chance for the next round, but you know the opponents are also building up economy. It becomes more difficult to win rounds and whatnot. So I think once VP does that, they're going to become a legitimate contender.
Let's talk about the maps. We're going to get to the veto. That's going to come up on screen. But you said earlier there was an interesting context about this.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, you look at it there. If you're the guys from Virtus Pro, you already banned Nuke, which is good news. You can never get trapped on that. But you have to take Ancient out as well. Like, Na'Vi's actually brought that into their map pool as well. So now they've got a very, very deep map pool. Na'Vi taking out Vertigo is obvious. Like, that's basically a map that, they don't play. Obviously, you don't want to play it against Gambit. Inferno's a map that it's up and down for them. Dust 2, it's just the VP Classic. Why play them on it? And then you leave them with a choice, Mirage or Overpass. By the way, we'll take either. Na'Vi loves a bit of Mirage. But obviously, we go to the Classic Overpass. Now, this is actually where I want to see what the new look Virtus Pro is really really like. Because this was one of the maps where I really actually didn't enjoy watching James play the CT side. Sometimes he would just save too much. He sometimes wouldn't even rotate to the other side. He would just sort of give it up, save his up, and just say, right, let's go next. So Yakindar used to have to basically work miracles on the T side. So I want to see, how can they integrate Flit? Like, what can he actually do from them at this point in time? Because the firepower differential, if he can be good, suddenly it becomes a pretty even match between the two teams, quite frankly.
Yeah, this wasn't one of the maps that they really played in those few encounters that they've had. It's going to be interesting to see Na'Vi. This was what some teams tried to punish them on in series, right? Obviously, Gambit having the upper hand over them on maps, or on a map like Overpass. So it's going to, and also the fact that they vetoed us too. As you said, VP did used to like the map, but we had the update, and Na'Vi was proficient on it. So Overpass, I think, a good sort of a middle ground, as most of the times it is in best of ones. And yeah, Na'Vi, with the way they've been playing, definitely the favorites here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the interesting thing about Na'Vi is we've been saying for years, like, what would it look like if Na'Vi got 2 players around Simple? He's always had a wingman. It's been electronic for a long period of time. But we always said, you know, like, think back to the time he was playing, you know, Edward on the team, Zeus on the team. They were always just a little bit deficient, and still he was dragging them with deep runs into the tournaments. I feel like Na'Vi now is the complete team. I really do. I think the emergence of Bit, prior to that, the emergence of Perfecto, kind of like the CIS Zipniks, you know, very smart with his clutches, not big numbers, but big impact. I think they've got everything, honestly. I mean, the only thing that ever was questionable was their approach to the game, and they seem to have altered that. You know, the rivalry with Gambit's been very good for them.
I mean, the main thing for me is, look, if I have to point out a hole, it's probably Boomich. Like, I don't think he's a truly great in-game leader. Quite frankly, I have my suspicions as to whether he really even fully in-game leads like we think of that, like the mastermind. I get the feeling Simple, especially with some of the passive play he has on teams. I think he just does whatever he wants. I think he has full freedom, and then actually Boomich is more of like a space creator, entry man, etc. So I think aside from that, I agree with you. Like, when Simple came into Na'Vi, you'd already seen the best days of Edward, of Seized. These were the support players. He's basically never had a good support player there. Perfecto is a revelation this year in that particular role. Then, obviously, like you say, Bit is basically, like, potentially going to be the rookie of the year.
He's got to be.
You have to count some of the other people, depending on what we're saying, tier 2 and tier 1. But yeah, you just look at the past 2 or 3 events. This is unbelievable stuff. I mean, he's basically MVP level at certain tournaments, except Simple players alongside him. So you look at the embarrassment of Riches suddenly coming into a major. There has never been an Na'Vi team with Simple in it that was the favourite, that should win the major, that had the pieces, as you're saying. Like, there's not really an excuse to not win the major at this point.
Yeah. And the one player that Duncan didn't mention that I'm very much looking forward to seeing in a LAN environment is Electronic. He's one of my favorite players to watch, such a cerebral player, very good at, you know, taking advantage of gaps, of openings, and that's why he struggled during the online era, right? Like, people are just taking more risks, there's more random plays, you know, they're being more ballsy as well than they usually would be in some situations. It was hard for him to kind of adapt to that. It took him a while. He did eventually manage to get there, but just on LAN, he's a different sort of a beast, and that 1-2 punch between him and Simple is probably one of the hardest hitting we have out there.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, we're about to find out what happens. What's going to win? Will it be the irresistible force or the immovable object? We'll find out now. Take it away, guys.
Yeah, let's get into it. It's going to be an overpass here between VP and Na'Vi. I think this is going to be, again, another really cool game. Different pace of Counter-Strike, probably from what we're used to seeing in the European region. But, I mean, I've got my hopes for the end game on Na'Vi.
Na'Vi are definitely one of the strongest teams in this tournament, without a doubt. And, I mean, Yanko can be happy because Electronic hit the ground running here on LAN. Dropped 25 kills versus Heroic earlier tonight, followed by Simple with 20. So that 1-2 combination punch that Na'Vi rely on,
so good.
They've showed up. They're here. They've got that. Now it's a question of whether or not that's going to change going up against Virtus Pro. Region team, again, you know, I guess you can call Virtus Pro an underdog versus Na'Vi, even though Virtus Pro are a top team in their own right. But there's that rivalry between these two.
I just want to say, I called Na'Vi winning the major 2 years ago. There just were no majors in between.
Okay, Banks,
it's going to be the longest call of all time, Sunlight. Corona really helped me out with that one. Set it up. I think it's going to be wild. Overpass should be fun. Lots of opportunities for some crazy aim fights there. Maybe some creative boosting as well. Those towers in T-spawn. We love those. So yeah, I mean, you'd be mental to not pick Na'Vi for the favorites here, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're 100% going to win it, because again, it's just the problem of those best of ones. They are just really elusive, and VP, they're not a pushover team either.
No, they aren't. There's a lot of firepower on VP. Yakinder's shown up, and he's just been popping off already this tournament. So it's exciting to watch, to see him in his element on land here, and to see the rest of VP kind of following in. And, well, obviously, Flit, you know, kind of carrying some weight there for the team, which is exactly what they were hoping he would be able to do for them. So I think VP, there's a strong chance, you know, that they just keep powering up because, again, not that much experience with Flit. So you expect them to just keep hitting harder and harder as they iron out the wrinkles.
Well, let's get the show on the road. Simple here with the dualies in play. And actually, there's a set on electronic as well. Bit with the headshot, but Kick It will take down Simple. So he didn't get to do very nearly as much as he wanted to there. So, quick trade, and now into a 4-on-4. It does show Na'Vi that at least they've got the restrooms, and they had a lot of people there. Down at the B bomb site, they're playing it so passively. They're actually playing essentially off the bomb site, and like a retake instead. It allows them to get 3 people up to the A site. So at range here with the USPs, it could be really deadly. P250 though picked up on Buster, so maybe he's out there on long looking for a fight. And VP have called a hold. They're saying, just let's wait. Let's wait and see what Na'Vi actually do.
Question, yeah. Well, Na'Vi are thinking the same thing. Let's wait and see what Virtus Pro are actually going to do, because I was curious if they're going to stick to their guns or not and keep the 3 players up on the A site. They're still playing retake on B. They've got the 2 players anchoring as well as the one watching from CT, so it's still 3 on A, and James has not found a lurk anywhere.
Yeah, and I think they're basically trusting that if this is a B hit, Bit can get one of those headshots, and then it's a 3 versus 4 retake, and it's all good. So they're just like, whatever, Bit, just do, if they show up, just kill one of them, and it's going to be fine. But time is running out really fast now. 20 seconds. This is definitely going to be an A hit coming out. VP, they're right on the brink of it. There's the flash to set it up. Flit actually got the kill, but Boomich down next in line. Electronic here with the dualies at range. There's an awkward position to be in. 8 seconds on the clock, and James is on his own. There's no time for this plant. If they don't find him, they're not going to be able to lose the round. It's going to be Electronic to get that kill at the end. Good triple for him, and it's Na'Vi to win the pistol.
And yeah, Simple. A little bit of a grin on his part as he gets to look at his, I mean, essentially co-star on the team. Electronic just doing so much work for this team. It's so sick to see that he is just hitting the ground running here on land and just...
Nie ma sensu, widzowie, oglądać Virtusów, jako to są oszukane Virtusy i jeszcze rosyjskie mają te blachy, no to się nie denerwujcie mnie. Pogramy sobie w CS-a po prostu gdzieś dojdę, zaraz będzie grał, zagram meczyk, na imię użyję tylko polskie, się dodam. Teraz ja trochę powiem, Virtusów nie ma co oglądać, bo to nie jest Polacy, nie są to Snacks, Izaka, nie ma. Nie ma co oglądać, widzowie. No, trochę sobie poglądać mój pulpit. No. Nie ma co, widzowie. Co nie ma sensu oglądać. Siemka, siemka. Siema. Siema, siema. Jak tam u ciebie?
Dobrze.
Jesteś na live jak coś, u mnie na streamie jesteś teraz jak coś. Wyrażasz zgodę na nie wiem, twojego głosu użycia na live na streamie. Jak chcesz zobaczyć potem siebie, to polecam ten sam Lisek Bartek, wpisz i po prostu będziesz miał live'ika. No to dawaj, startuj. Tylko proszę pokaż mapę najpierw. Dobra, tak. Daj niukę, kobla i bez overpassa. Jak tam ci dzisiaj dzień minął?
Co mówisz?
Akceptuj.
Zaakceptowałam.
Dobrze. Jak coś ci powiem, że potem jak będziesz chciał, to sobie tam przewiń odcinek, bo trochę już nagrywam, od 18 nagrywam. Jak coś, jakbyś chciał wiedzieć, od 18. Od 18, no i właśnie tutaj teraz właśnie chciałem sobie Magic zagrać.
Spoko, tylko weź tam streama wyłączy się, że ja w YouTube dlatego, bo to trochę przeszkadza, że jest
Dobra.
Ja pierdzielę, zamiast ochrony kupiłem Zeusa przez przypadek.
Oj. Kurwa mać. Z kim ja kurwa gram? Nice. Się nie pozabijaj, co? Jeden wejdzie drzwi. Tam o, jak coś. Mogę ci tylko podpowiedzieć.
Jak coś to ja idę na dach, bo mam skałka.
Dwóch mam. Dół. O kurwa.
Ja też miałem jednego, uważaj, bo jeden gra ze strzelbą. Ej, dobra, widziałem sobie streama na YouTube.
Dobry jest ten z pompą. Otworzysz mi drzwi?
Okej. No nie gadaj, że ty z Negewa grasz.
Nie, tak, dobra.
No nienawidzę takich ludzi, którzy kampią tylko. Jest na górze.
Kurde! Czot. Nie gram z Negewa, ale tu ten jeden idzie ciągle od drzwi, a drugi już jest u góry. No, pomysł na obejście. Kurczę, no. Nie za dobrze. Nie za dobrze, jak myślałem. Jeden dół. Pięknie.
Mam straszny low.
Góra, domek, jeden.
Co? Jak? Ma jakiegoś wallhacka. Coś w tym stylu.
Skąd cię wziął? Tylko mi to powiedz.
Nie zdążysz.
Ja nie zdążę?
Ale masz fajną muzyczkę.
A, dziękuję. Kurde, przyszedł do mnie jeden. One kibel. Będzie tak. Ja pierdzielę, no co za manda. Ja pierdzielę, dziąbolas. Dziąbolas. Nie no. No co za gówniarz. Ja pierdolę. Ja pierdzielę, co ja za gówniarza mam. Z serwera mnie zostawił jak zwykle, jebany skurwiel. Aha, dobra. Super. Super. Aha, to cheaty. Fajnie, że masz cheaty, kurwa, dziwko jebana. Cheaty, kurwa. Wiadomo, że są cheaty, są już nawet potwierdzone. Cheaty, bo jak nagle strzela sobie do mnie. Kurde, dobra, są debilami. Kurde, dany się poddał i wyszedł. Kurwa, zniszcz. Dobra, nie ma sensu, chyba oni są mecz, a ty dostajesz 30 minut.
That looked like a big mistake. And if that could have cost them the round. That could have been the end of it. The margins really are that thin at this level, so keep an eye on that. I mean, they're not perfecto. They've got some kills, but they are actually. I mean, now they got some backup when Simple's down there, so that's really helpful. But just between the two of them, I haven't been too impressive in this B bomb side yet.
No, I think that's why BP are just smashing this B bomb site over and over again as best they can. They've had success here on B. Clearly, the players on this bomb site aren't hitting as hard as, well, I mean, Simple. But wherever Simple's going to be, you're just going to hate your life. Yeah. If you know he anchors A 80% of the time, then just avoid A. Keep hitting B over and over again.
Looking for the boost this time around. They've been spotting it a lot, Navi. They've been trying to catch this boost in action. Game is also sneaking on the other end. And again, this is another round where VP are getting all this real estate outside of the bomb site. And every time they've been able to do that, they get the kills. Again, Yakindar and Jamin, that's the round done. Just like that. Navi cannot let them have all of this space outside. It is right now, I think, the factor that's winning them these rounds down to the B bomb site for VP. It's so obvious when you see it from this point of view. Navi must be feeling it too. That's impressive.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to get another tactical timeout called here by Navi after this, because Perfecto is just dying at the beginning of these rounds, and it's really hurting his B defense, because then Electronic feels like he has to plug the gap, and then he gets caught out in the open. And that keeps happening over and over again. Electronic trying to do the best that he can, but for now, we'll need some adjustments made. And maybe you're right. Maybe we do need to just kind of, Navi just need to realize that they need to take the fight to VP one way or another. And that could be, quick source play.
That could be right. It could be even putting two people in connector, because then that door blows open. And if you have that setup at source and connector, it means suddenly whoever is holding Monster Tunnel only has to worry about that. They don't have to do that double play where you're kind of on the ramps, you know, walking back and forth all the time. There are a lot of ways to solve this problem, and the one that Navi's reached for so far mostly has just been having Simple down there with an AWP, or maybe even sometimes 4 people, right? Which you just can't do all the time is the issue, right?
Witam wszystkich serdecznie i właśnie jesteście na live, na streamku u mnie, to pozdrawiam was i czy mogę was użyć do odcinka?
Normalnie, byku!
Tak samo jak chcecie się potem zobaczyć w odcinku, to tak samo piszecie jak tu mam i tyle. No.
Poczekaj, powtórz.
Czy po prostu chcecie mieć swoje no, czy pozwolicie swojego głosu użyć do odcinka, bo ja teraz streama nagrywam, no i to tyle. Jak chcecie się zobaczyć, no to Lisek, Bartek, zapraszam, jest jeszcze stream, live'y też, donaty, wszystko jest dostępne.
Super, dobrze.
To se zapiszę nawet, słuchaj.
Live będzie zapisany, jakbyś chciał obejrzeć cały. Bo oglądałem te deathmatche, te właśnie Virtus Pro gra teraz z kimś, ale nie chcę mi się już ich oglądać, bo przegrywają.
Tak, z Navi grają. No ale to Virtusi to teraz są Ruscy chyba, nie?
No.
No, that's actually sick. I didn't expect him to really look that deep in. I thought he was a little bit further behind the pillar. Boomich, he's going to get one, and is still alive. James trying to get through the tunnel. 30 seconds on the clock. Kinda, he made it look so easy. He just raises the gun and drops Boomich. Now though, James 1 versus 2, and Simple's on the other side.
Collect?
Yep, he got tagged, but it doesn't matter. Still ends up winning the fight.
Do not leave Simple hanging on the fist bump.
Okay, that is a really close round. And
Oh, Blade.
7 to 4.
Be careful playing with fire, man. Alright, we will get the timeout called. Okay, I guess that's what he was asking for. Get the timeout called. Alright, fair enough. But that is sick.
Siostra pozdrawia czat, jak chcesz.
What a save.
Okej.
I mean, right now, this retakes on the B bomb side. It's just so.
Tak mało osób jest, siedzi jedna osoba tylko i...
Retake, it's just the end of days
Aha, to,
for Navi at
to
that
podpisz tą jedną osobę, tak z imienia. To ja pozdrawiam po prostu.
No i dobrze.
You probably should. It's scarily accurate.
I'll get to it one of these days. Yeah, Simple, I mean, he's playing...
Jakby coś się nie udało z zapisem, to ja wam podeślę potem ten odcinek,
There are just almost no games.
może być kłopot.
That's what's so ridiculous about it. Indeed. Let's see, 7 to 4. 12th round here. AKs across the board for VP.
Tylko w akcję, żeby było widać. No to gramy. No, jak zwykle długo ładuję. Musimy szukać skrzydle, kurde, no, co za kasztan pierdzielony. Szukał mnie w skrzydle, bo sobie wyszedł pod koniec. No coś ten gościu z pompą miał... postrzał w łeb, cały czas walił.
Dobra panowie, ile się pozmieniało tutaj na daście, bo dawno nie grałem.
W sumie to nic, tylko mi się zmieniło.
Okej, spoko, dzięki.
Chłopaki pod besą. Chłopaki pod besą znowu.
Trupiarnia. Co oni tak bełażą?
Koście jedną stronę mapy znają tylko.
Chce ktoś AWP?
Komu?
Ja już rzuciłem jak kumpel dobry.
A dobra. Niech będzie. Kurwa, skurwesyn. Ćwiczki. Czyli no Passat. Czy jak ciągnie jak Solaris. 3 jednym strzałem. Kurde. Ojdź.
Sorry chłopaki, musiałem.
Jak Solaris ciągnie. Jolu. Ten ma kosę. Nice kosa.
Komuś AWP mogę rzucić jak potrzebujecie. Aha, dobra.
Ło! Ale dziobno. Ui. Ale się gdzieś stara śruto. O kurwa.
Mid.
O, dobra, co fajnie.
Jeszcze jeden.
Ja sobie to wezmę, pozwolisz? Jak to chuj? O Jezu, nie, kurde, co ja zrobiłem? Przez przypadek sobie zrzuciłem. Od ryja.
A, jeszcze jeden trup. Bomba.
Oj! Nie, nie, nie. Proszę mi to oddać. Nie no, proszę mi to oddać. To jest moje, dziękuję. Ło, ale urwał.
Pod betą.
Szybciutko jak Grażynka, kurde, w pole sąsiada.
Dobra, to gramy nexta, nie?
Ciach, chyba to brakuje. Chłyc. Idę za panem żadnym. Dobra, idę się napierdalać na fronty.
Dobra, nexta gramy, nie?
Ale to szybkie było.
No, bardzo szybkie, nie fair.
Sobie odpalenie dałem. Odpaliłeś się. Dobra, dobra. Już meczu nie ma? Przegrali. Firtusi przegrywają 12-4. Co to jest? Ja pierduta. Tak można. Tak można. Jak tak można? Tu się przegrywają. Jak tak można? Jak tak można? Jak tak można? 13, 14, 13-4 przegrywać? Co za polską moc rozwalają, no. To była Polska kiedyś, a teraz o kurde przegrywają, no co za ludzie. Przerwa. Nie wiem, to muszę sprawdzić. Dobra, widzowie, chyba nie wiem, co dzisiaj zrobimy, zobaczymy. Czy się zapisze, czy nie? Nie wiem, widzowie, co robimy. Donich wynosi, no. Oj, oj, oj. Nie to gdzieś. Nie przegrywają wszystko. Kiedyś to było. Jak już prawie zakończony, to już nie muszę iść pod prądu. Gościu się... Nawigacja Kris-Tinka, no kurde, jak mnie wyrolowało, no. Jak wygraliśmy, no. Gościu z pompą lata jak powalony. Nie, tak sobie co, no. Już nie od stałych godzin. Mocno nie działa. Działa Roblox. Może to już koniec show. Tyle ludzi utrzymuje Roblox, że masakra. Kończy polscy mają dzieciaków. Nie może być końca Robloxa. Się kąpię w milionach, ile mi? Czy z Robloxem? Czy nie płacę? Już jest 22. Dobra, zobaczymy. Dzisiaj chyba. Dobra, widzowie, ja się chyba z wami już na dzisiaj. Nie wiem, widzowie, co tu robić, bo teraz mi się zawiesił. Szkoda, by się zawiesił. O, witam serdecznie, jak jesteście, to dajcie znać w tym, napiszcie w tym, na czacie, kto jest. Trzy osoby są, i dobrze. Donaty też są możliwe, jak chcecie to tam dawajcie, ja tam się nie... Co tam u was dzisiaj? Jak wam dzianek minął? Ta runda coś za szybko poszła w coś. Szybko poszły te rundy. W jednej grze mają awarię, w drugiej nie wiem. Szybki meczyk. Ci się podobało nawet. Nie wiem, co jeszcze możemy porobić. Witam tych, co są, tych, co nie, to też witam. Rajda może zrobimy komuś. Nie wiem, rajdzika zrobimy zaraz. A dobra, widzowie, nie wiem co robimy. Kończymy chyba na dzisiaj. No to życzę wam miłej nocy, żegnam, na razie, elu. Dobranoc wam życzę.